Zeke did that beat. Zeke did that beat. Zeke did that beat. beat. Zeke did that beat.
I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. Nah, nah. I'll be okay. Okay, okay. Don't worry about me.
Zeke did that baby.
Don't worry about me.
Zeke did that baby.
Okay, okay.
Zeke did that baby.
Don't worry about me.
Zeke did that baby.
Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. Okay, okay. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Okay, okay.
Zeke did that baby.
I'm so fly, 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 I'm so fly.
I always forget to unmute my mic. Good morning, y'all. What's up, everybody? Okay, y'all got to deal with bad hair today. Today is bad hair day. We're getting it together. It's first thing in the morning. Got stuff to do. I am so glad to be here. So glad to have y'all with us. I hope y'all are doing well. How is everybody? Come on, let that beat ride. Hey, let the beat ride. Hey, hey. Hey, let that beat ride. There it goes. Let that beat ride. I love that. I love that. Oh. Probably try to figure out why am I so hyped. I can tell you why I'm so hyped, because I slept for a long time yesterday. Hold on, wait, we gotta feel that. Hey. Yo, good morning. I hope everybody's doing all right this morning. Shout out to Pastor Robinson. Oh, thank you so much for the love. I definitely, he said, keep pressing. God is pleased. I love it. Thank you. Hold on, wait. Oh, y'all hear that? Oh, I love the love that y'all give. Good morning, Abronia. Good to see you this morning. What's up? Good to see you this morning, man. It's good to see everybody. I'm so happy. Thank y'all to my people who log in with us every morning. And then, as always, over on Instagram, you know, obviously we still having Instagramming issues. But it's something that we're hoping to figure out. In the near future. Y'all, we learning, we growing, we building the ship as we go. We building the plane as we fly it. It's a thing. Y'all know how I do. I got to have my coffee because you can see the sleep in my eyes for the first hour. Now listen here, my hair is a mess this morning, so I don't want y'all putting in the comments how nappy it is right now. I got to use my sponge. Now I've been wearing it in the twist thing. I don't know, for those of y'all who are doing the more natural styles, have y'all ever used sponges? You know, the sponges used to be, just like a spongy material. But now I'm using this one. It's by Kiss, Colors and Care. It's the one that you find I found it at Walmart, or you can get it at any beauty supply store. Bow Wow is on the cover of it. So he's endorsing this one. And let me tell y'all something. This is the best, twisting, thing I've ever done. It's not made of sponge material or cloth. It's made of, I don't know, like silicone or rubber or something like that. But I mean, by the time I'm done with this, the hair looks really, really good. So those of y'all who are into doing natural hairstyles and products, they did not pay me for this. I'm just letting y'all know what I use. That's all I'm doing. They didn't pay me for this, so you know, that's all I'll say about that. However, we do have some people who have paid to have their products advertised. Yeah. Can y'all believe that? We got people who want to give money to advertise their product on our few viewers because they think that the thing is going to grow and they want to be there at the ground level. So shout out to Mystery Melodies. Now I got a whole thing on my phone, but my phone died. So we're going to play. They gave me a couple clips. We're going to play their clips all through the week. But I do want to give a big shout out to Mystery Melodies. That is actually owned by one of our co-hosts, Richard Holmes, and his wife, Shantae. So, you know, she the money person. If she don't think it's going to go nowhere, they're not going to spend no money. So I want to say thank you to them for sponsoring. They are going to be this week's sponsor. Not going to be. They are the show's sponsor for this week. So Mystery Melodies, will put something out for them. They are a fun experience. Hold on, wait. I gotta find the promo. You would think that I'd have this stuff down. Right here it goes. Let's see. Dive into an evening of intrigue and fun with Mystery Melodies, the interactive murder mystery experience hitting Chicago. Perfect for corporate gatherings, birthday celebrations, themed social events, or simply a fantastic night out with friends. Enjoy an unforgettable evening packed with music, suspense, laughter, and mouth-watering catering. I've been to a couple of their shows. The catering is usually good. The shows are good. The singing is good. So, engage with intriguing characters, collect clues, and work together to unravel the mystery. Don't miss out on this thrilling adventure. Join us for a night to remember. They've got packages available for you to be able to have them at your own event and stuff like that. I know they've got something that's coming up. We were talking about it, and I thought that was so cool. I want to congratulate them to all of their success and thank them for being this week's sponsor. Later on, we'll have a video to show you some footage of some stuff that they've done, and quite possibly you will patronize their services. We all about supporting Black businesses and Black wealth, and so that's what we're about over here. And so that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to support Black businesses as Black businesses support us. And I always say this much. I've always had this thing. I don't want, like, as a Black business person, I don't want supporters. Like, I don't want people who just support my business. I want customers, and I want repeat customers. I want people with brand loyalty, and that's what we're trying to build up over on this side. We're trying to build up brand loyalty. So that means you got to have good service, good customer service, a good product, because I'm sick of Black business. And I'm just speaking for myself. I'm sick of Black business who just want people to support Black business. Yeah, there's a thing to that, but you got to give a product. You have to have a good product. You have to have good service. You have to have good customer service. McDonald's is not looking for supporters. McDonald's is looking for customers, and they're looking for, more specifically, loyal customers who have, who only eat McDonald's. And Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they're not looking for supporters. They're looking for, and that's what some of the stuff that we want to dive into in our conversation on today. We're not just looking for supporters. We're looking for customers. Now, if it looks like my stuff like freezes up a little bit, because I think I just froze up a bit there, the interwebs is interwebbing. So somebody tell Al Gore to fix his interwebs. Shout out to everybody who's been here. Shout out to everybody who's with us. My guy Will C, who I owe a call back to for the last week. Will called me, and I've been calling him back for the last week. And by calling him back, I mean meaning to call him back. I got you, my guy. Good morning to you. Will C is out on the west side of Chicago doing amazing and good work. I'll give him some free plug right here. He's got the Y Men, which takes young boys from the west side, and they do they take them on trips and get them counseling and get them mentorship and all of that. He's a product of that program. I went into a thing recently. God rest his mom's soul. Went to the repass. I was late getting there, but got there. And whose picture do I see on the wall in a giant mural? Like my boy Will C. I'm like, God, boy, you famous out here on this west side. So we'll see. He run the West Side. That's West Side Willie. Y'all give it to my guy. Y'all give it to him. That's one of my longest and oldest friends, by the way, y'all. We've known each other since college. I think Will was the first person I met, like I really actually met at Olivet. Will was the first one and literally been rocking ever since. So that's real talk. Shout out to Willie Jordan, J.R. Jordan. We love you, bro. Thank you for always being here. That's Unc right there, y'all. Every time you say good morning, nephew, I'll be like, yo, you know, because when legends call you nephew, you got to take that serious. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that serious. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then again, I just want y'all to see Pastor Robinson, who left this comment in the introduction while the intro was going. He was saying, we're praying the stream grows. Keep pressing, fellas. God is pleased. Man, for real, we love the encouragement. Now, that's support. That's support. We can take support for stuff like this. But when it's time to start passing money around, I don't want supporters. I want customers. I want good clients. And so we are always willing, always willing to help support a business, but you got to have a good business model and good business platform so that you can have customers. You don't want to build your business on supporters. That's why businesses keep closing down, because you can only support so much. I mean, if I don't really like your restaurant, I'll support you by going to eat there, but if I don't like it, I ain't coming back. Yeah, that's not what you want. You building a business. You want people that come back. You want repeat customers. So have a good product, have good service, have good customer service. I'm hoping that we will dive into some of those conversations and more on today. I want to say what's up to my Instagram family. Like I said, Instagram is still Instagramming. We are trying, like for real, we trying to find a better way to be able to view and post comments from Instagram. So give us some time. We're building this out. We're on a timeline for how to build this for when we really want to see it grow. That's just, we've got personal goals in that space. And so we are on that timeline and learning. So please definitely forgive us over on the Instagram side. But we have decided we're not going to stop streaming on Instagram just because we can't, just because we're having issues with trying to work it. We've decided that we're not going to stop streaming. All right. Now it looks like my Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi-ing. I don't know what's going on with that, because it looked like I keep freezing up a little bit. And if that's the case, then I'll figure something else out. But maybe I need to see. These are the things that we're figuring out. This is what it's about. This is why you just jump out there. You can try to fix everything, but at the end of the day, until you jump out there, you don't know what's really messed up. Y'all mind if I do something real quick? My man's Eric Javon is in the house. Y'all mind if I bring him to the stage? As y'all know, I do all of my intros and all that kind of stuff, tell y'all what the show is about. We've got some special guests. My cousin Jerry Thompson is supposed to be getting on today, and I will let him tell who he is. Oh, I'll tell y'all who he is, but I'm going to wait till he gets here to really tell y'all who he is so I can know how much I can actually say. You know what I mean? That's kind of what the goal is with that. But y'all mind if I bring my mans onto the line? Welcome, Eric Rideout.
Well, that is funny. I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to go through mayonnaise early.
That's one of those moments where you'd be like, "Oh, hi there. How you?" Oh, I didn't realize you were there.
You remember when people used to get on live and they wouldn't say nothing, they just sit there and look at the camera.
Right, they just sit there waiting for the camera, right? Just waiting on, come on in the room, y'all. Come on.
I don't do that, man.
Yeah, we killed that energy. We just start talking. Because you know what happens? More people go and watch the replay than watch you actually in the moment. Like, I mean, we may have, tops 15 people at a time that's watching live. We got our ones who are, they on every morning with us, and they watch us, and they watch the whole broadcast, and we love them. Those are the real supporters. Those are the real customers, if you will, I guess. Yeah. Put it down like that. But, more people actually go and watch it later. Like, I mean, because by the time it's done, and, we look at 1,000 views, I guess. All them people wasn't on live with us, which means
1,000 what?
Yeah, which means you got to start off talking. Like,
you
got to start off talking.
And other things that, like you said, we're still figuring out. But
yeah,
how to see it, because sometimes the people my followers can't see it. Sometimes they can. So,
Yeah, I think I figured that one out though. I think I got that one figured out. Yeah, so I had to do something inside of Facebook. I had to go like through a whole bunch of faces in Facebook that I didn't even know existed. Like I had to go finding like sets and something else. It was like stuff that nobody ever goes into the, on the side and all the settings and the all that stuff. I'd never heard of this stuff. Like I had to go in and learn stuff just to get it there. So hopefully you should be able to share this now, and people should be able to open it if they're not my friends. That should be the case.
Hopefully, right?
Yeah. So this is one of our main supporters right here over on the YouTube side. We definitely want to shout out Abronia, aka Brony Cat 1, over on YouTube.
That name cracks me up. What is it? Is that the first name and the last?
Well, her name is Abronia. That's her name, so that's where we get Brony Cat from. Am I saying it right? Brody Cat, Brony Cat? I don't know. But remember Catherine was Ninja Cat. So. But she is definitely one of our main supporters. She has not missed a day, and we love that. Shout out to Jamaica. That's Jamaica Lachey right there. I'm going to play one of her songs later. The people really love the song I Don't Want It, so I'm going to play that. Thank you for sending me the album art.
You said that was
I got it this morning.
Who you talking about?
Jamaica.
But
never heard of her.
Oh, and on a sad note, prayers. On a sad note, prayers for who we were just talking about yesterday, Naomi.
Oh yeah,
Naomi. Her son passed away. Her oldest son. He just yesterday. So I think it was yesterday. So prayers up for Naomi and the loss of her son.
Oh, I gotta stop the music for that one. How old is the son? How old was the son?
It's like, I think, what, 13, 14? 15,
yeah, I was gonna say, couldn't be no more than a teenager. I was thinking 18 or something, but
he just,
a shout out. Definitely that. She was one of our ones who helped us to definitely build some of the stuff that we built, and she was part of that process. And so we definitely keep her in thoughts and prayers, man. That's oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, we lost Eric. So to that effect, he done pressed the button like always. Y'all pray for Eric. He always touching something and getting off. Here you go. He's back. Y'all see it? What I tell you? There you go.
I got
it. Back. There it is. Yo, Eric. So check this out. Guess who's backstage? We got my cousin. Y'all go hear me call him Tony, but I don't know if that's what you want y'all to call him. So I'll let him. I'll let him tell y'all if that's cool, because I know him what I know him as, because he's my cousin, my family. But he is also Eric. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. So if y'all think that I've ever done anything that y'all thought of as genius, or that y'all thought of as just smart, or that's a good idea, or you're so talented at this, the person that I'm bringing to the stage today, and this won't be the last time. It'll be the first time he's on here, but it won't be the last time he's on here. I mean, even the fact that we're doing this every morning, this sparked off because last Friday I got on live when my wife was in the hospital. I came home. I was looking through some music. Remember, I was making tracks every day, like the ones that were in the introduction video. I was doing that every day. And on Friday, I just couldn't keep up with it because my wife was in the hospital. We had to do that whole thing. So I came home that night and I just went live. Instead of posting something, I went live. And, I had Ari on for a minute. Then it got messed up. We started going down memory lane. And then I brought my cousin Tony on. We talked for like 2.5 hours, literally, like just going back and forth about different stuff. And it made me realize
the industry, right? And he's an industry guy.
Well, he knows the industry on the music side. He knows the industry on the corporate side. And so I want to specifically not talk so much music today, but I started off talking about building up Black business, Black wealth, all of that kind of stuff like that, because this is somebody who also understands that area and that aspect. And he's written books. He's got so like I said, this will not be the last time he's on here because if he'll say the same, but this won't be the last time he's on here, because when I say this is somebody that you definitely want to know what they think and how they think and all this is that dude. Like anything I've ever done is because I ran it past this guy, and that's been the case for at least 20 years. So like legit. So you got to give honor where honor is absolutely due, and that's the real That's the real thing. So I'm going to bring him to the stage in just one moment here. I see he's ready back there. Hey, cousin, what's up? So we're going to bring him up in just one moment for y'all. He's backstage. He's ready to go. But this is what I want to do. Before I do that, Eric, tell the people one good thing, because I know you be moving. Tell the people one good thing real quick.
I got to think of something good.
Okay, let's start right here, because and then I love to dive into this a little bit when Tony gets on. Aja Walls, you sent me the thing with Aja Walls.
Yeah. Aja has an interesting take on everything, and that's the sister, her brother, and her other sister, and I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna text her later and see, because I think she'll be good to come on here, because her take of, we always think of, when we think of music and we think of child stars, we don't think, we normally think of, what's the first thing people say? Oh, Michael Jackson didn't have a childhood. But there's people right here in the gospel music industry that, as long as you've heard of them, they've sang or done music, and the Walls group. We can go even further back to Kiara.
Mm-hmm.
Kiara, what has she known her whole life? But, and no offense to you, Kiara, you know how, because she'll talk about me if she ends up seeing it. Say I was trying to be, but, and Kiara, because, we've worked together for years, but even as Kiara's a kid, that's all she knew was, you come from a legendary musical family, and then you do a duet with your mom, and now you're your own artist as a kid, so you've grown up in front of the camera. The Walls, so she had his points, man, and she was talking about how the music industry, how she was taken, and how family and people used her, and again, to those of you watching, we're not saying every company, every label, and everybody goes through that situation, but it's a real thing, because I've seen a lot of people get taken advantage of. I've seen a lot of shady stuff, inappropriate stuff. Some of the things she was hinting around when she said how she's been propositioned and things like that. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So I take nothing lightly what she said. And she's speaking from a place of truth. And I don't say those words, their truth, and their, because Jesus is only truth. I don't like to say that. But from her perspective, from her experience,
I say, and I tell you what, and going through label stuff, it triggered some stuff, like listening to what she was talking about. Like, triggered some stuff. Me and my wife stayed up. So you had hit me up, and I won't call names, but you hit me up. Like you said, did I hit a certain person up? Mm-hmm. And I was responding to that. My phone died, and I just went back to sleep. But in waking up, because the reason that it died and I didn't get to send this message off, because I was talking about the whole thing you had posted, in that group text about that whole situation with Aja, and it started off a whole conversation with me and my wife sitting around how do you build wealth when you're in an industry that everyone is there to take from you, and then makes you feel like you're the person who essentially needs them. So everybody's on you because you're the talent, if you will, right? Right. So you are the brand. Remember, Jay-Z had that line, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. You're the business, you're the thing, but everybody has a vested interest in pulling something off you. You know what I mean? And so then it kind of makes you almost feel like you need them. Yeah.
And the bigger you are, because something I read yesterday, I was talking to Marvis about yesterday, something very crazy. And before we go, shout out the recording artist from the South, Damon Brown. What's up, Smith? What's up, Daryl Moore? And your cousin has jumped in here on the comments, Mrs. Lowe. She said, what's going on? And also, for those of you watching, I'm not being cool. Oh, Smith, my cousin Reed just joined in. Reed.
I see that. We're always keeping her in prayer, everything else like that. All her stuff. So I don't want to spend too much more time. We're gonna come back to the Aja Walls conversation, but go ahead, because I want to make sure to get Tony on here to have all the time in the world, because I think he's gonna have something for the people.
with that, real quick, that I was going to add to that, and then we'll get back to it, is when you know your brand, when your brand means something. And we were talking about Michael Jackson yesterday, how Michael Jackson never paid for hotel rooms when he stayed for him or his entourage. His team would call the hotel and say, hey, this is Michael Jackson management. He wants to stay at your hotel. We need 3 floors. We ain't paying you for it, but he will announce he at your hotel and blah, blah, blah. And because of his brand, he knew the power of his name and his brand. He didn't have to do nothing but say, I'm going to stay at your hotel today. And the hotel would give him floors and everything. So knowing your brand, we'll get back to all that later. And everybody, I'm wearing these sunglasses because it's early and my eyes are red. And no worse than being a chocolate fellow with red eyes. They think you're drunk or high automatically. And last thing, recording artist Tara Jones from out in Dallas has just joined us. And happy birthday to her.
Shout out Tara Jones. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for being here with us this morning on your birthday.
It's Tara. I called her Tara. I was being
I'm Tara Jones. Eric will definitely get me in trouble. Like,
yeah, I didn't want
now when I meet you in real life, I call you Tara, and it's Eric's fault.
And her real name is Tara. I just mess with her, but she can amazing singer. Go to her page, everybody in the comments, and book the girl to sing. Okay, Zeke and Jerisha.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, y'all, I have a special guest that I'm going to bring on, but I want to definitely make sure to play this first from okay, I'm still learning how to work certain things. I want to play this, and coming up right after this announcement, I told y'all we got people. Eric, did I tell you got people who are willing to like pay to advertise with us? Did I tell you that? We got advertisers. The first advertiser for the week, the sponsor for the week. So I got to play their thing. So this is why I need a producer. As we get some as we get these funds, I'm going to need y'all to we're gonna have to pay a producer to help with this stuff like that. But coming up right after this, because I do want to, like I said, make sure that we have enough time to talk to my cousin. He's a very busy man, but I want to give some time, some space to our I don't know where it went. My goodness. Okay. I don't know where it went. Here it is. All right, from our sponsor, real quick.
That's the
yeah.
Everybody watching, and look.
Well, okay, I did something. There we go.
And for you,
I clicked on the wrong button. Forgive me. I clicked on the wrong button. There it goes. Well, hold on. Wait. I gotta bring to the stage my man. Here he is. I clicked on the wrong button. There's like 4 different things I gotta click on here. So y'all gonna see some definite mishaps. Tony, next time you come on, it's gonna be way better, I promise. But I want to say, welcome to the stage, the one, the only Jerry Thompson, my cousin Tony. Listen, this dude is let's see. Okay, so first and foremost, he's a musical genius. Let's start there. We'll just go on that side because that's the least of what he does. He's a musical genius. He is a life coach. He is a golfer who can run with people like Tiger Woods, and I don't mean that like fakely or just saying that. I mean literally, he can run with like Tiger Woods. Like, he's an author. He's written books. He is a coach. But then watch this. He's a corporate dude. So Tony, can I tell him what to do in the corporate world? Can I tell him what you do? Like,
I can't wait for you to tell him. Or I could tell him because it may be. I can't. No, I want to hear your version.
So let's see. Y'all ever heard of Enterprise Rental Car? So he is the okay. Oh God, I'm gonna get the title wrong, but let's put it this way: all of the information technology systems that run for enterprise rent-a-car, he's in charge of all of that. So he's not your IT guy; he's your IT guy's boss's boss's boss. And if you look at that boss, he's their boss. Like he is that dude. What you got? Like 24,000 employees under you, something like that. Like
I don't want no 24,000 employees. I'll explain it. You've been and got me kidnapped. Listen,
he owns land. He owns properties. He lives in 2 different countries. He's like, I mean, if you look at his children live all over the world. And I mean, literally, they live all over the world. Like, they own their own businesses and stuff. If there's any person who for real speaks for who they are and their work speaks for themselves, it's my cousin. And I'm proud that he's my cousin. And I call him my mentor, my cousin, and that I hit up when I'm needing to talk ideas out because I can't get them through other people. So he's one of the few people who think at a deeper level than I think. And so the moment that I, again, even in conceived to do this, it started by us having a conversation on Friday and being on live on Friday. And so this is the fruits of that. Like, this is the fruits of that. Y'all give it up. Please write in the comments and welcome the one and only Jerry A. Thompson Jr. Hey, what's up, cousin?
Yo, what's going on, man? So let me go back on the corporate end. Wow, that's big. So I'm the director of network strategy and operations. So effectively, Enterprise, National, Alamo. I don't know if people know that that's all under one company. But yeah, we do business in about 100 countries. We are the #1 mobility company in the world. You can take the next 3 and stack them all up; they still won't be as big as us. So we are the top of the totem pole with that. So it's kind of cool to be in a role like this, is especially as an African man, African American. When I look to the left and the right of me, I don't usually see people that look like me. So I'm really grateful to be here, but and then be in this role in particular, having global responsibility. So what I think, if that means anything in this conversation, is the tech is one part, right? But I've been doing that forever, which is still fascinating in and of itself. But I think to have to contribute to strategy, which is really the forward look to say, what do these things need to be in order for a company of this size to be able to reach its mission, be able to build and lead those teams that actually do that work. And I think then maybe finally it is, I would say, to manage sizable, 8 and 9 figure budgets. So I have a different sort of understanding about money. Zeke, we've talked about infrastructure. I think maybe we'll get into that a little bit today.
Absolutely.
I think please, definitely. So, and I took an interesting route to get here. I wasn't the A student in high school. I wasn't even going to go to school. I had other more nefarious plans for my adult life. But one conversation with one person really was the first significant pivot in my life. And then once I started my career, there's another gentleman who served as another significant pivot in my life. So I think that when we get to a certain place in life, we make thousands of decisions a day, some consciously, some subconsciously. But you can look back at your life and realize that you are where you are today by virtue of no more than 5 critical decisions placed you where you are, which is pretty astounding when you think about how many we make. And again, some of those decisions we made consciously, some of those we made unconsciously or subconsciously. Nonetheless, the result is still there. Like I said, either one of you could sit and go back, and it's like these 5 things amongst those millions that I've made have been responsible. So anyway, so where do you want to start?
Start the conversation. Yeah, right. It's I don't even know.
I mean, we could talk about we can talk about black wealth. We can talk about money. We could talk about our what should our plan be like right now. Oh, Eric got something. What you got?
No. What he's saying is so good. And everybody who's watching this, please share this, because this man is going to give you some information, especially us as African American people. And it's a lot of young artists in the comments. Dietrich Haddon, his manager, and other people, managers in the comments, artists are in the comments, business owners are in the comments.
And that's what we all about today.
What this man is talking about, because you can apply what he just said he did. And information he's going to give you can help you in your company. We love God and all of that, but you need to know the business part of your life.
That part right there.
And hear from other people. And hear from other people. He's not giving out enterprise.
About my mug.
What's the mug say on it?
This one says solve the solvable problems.
Solve the solvable problems. Now you got merchandise, because you sell the merchandise on the site with the mugs and the hats and the Live Free. It's a lifestyle. It's crazy because we've been talking about Live Free, the organization that I work with. And then he's got a company, Live Free, which is, so apparently there's a thing in Black consciousness that we want y'all to live free. And how do you live free in America? Economic freedom. And I think maybe I'll start the conversation here, because this is where so I'll put it this way. If there's one person who digs into me, y'all, like, he will get on me. He'll call me up randomly at times, or I'll call him, or I'll go visit or whatever. And then he'll just, by the time I leave, my brain is blown and I got to figure out some stuff. So I think that one of those, those pivotal things for me was right when I went on tour in 2022. You remember when Jonathan was moving to LA and he wanted to come down and see you in St. Louis before he left. And so I came down with him, and I was on my way on the road, on the tour. So I couldn't drive out with him. But when I was down there, I remember we were sitting in the kitchen, and it was just me and you sitting down there, and we're talking and having a good time. And how much do you want to make? How much do you want to do today? So he told me, like, write down a number. It was like this whole exercise that later on in the night I found out you just made it up as you were going. But
I've used that quite a bit. Here's what's interesting in terms of money, right? Like I grew up poor, and it's so funny because my son called me yesterday because he's actually about to do a kind of a seminar, a workshop on this stuff. So he was just sort of asking me. He's like, "Dad," he said, when did it switch for you in terms of money, like in terms of your money consciousness?" And what I said to him is, well, everyone has money consciousness all the time. It's just what side of the equation are you going to be on? And what I said to him is this: in our community, we have really focused on the basics: food, clothing, shelter. And if we have those things handled, we feel like everything is okay. And that's because we think about survival and not thriving. So you can have a money mindset that's specifically tuned to survive, like meaning you could come right up to the edge and something awesome, amazing, maybe, call it a miracle happens, and then it pulls you back, and we celebrate that, but that's not abundance.
Right.
So abundance is this idea of having more than enough. And I think in particular for my generation, like, we really did focus on that. Like, we knew we had to get to a place in life where we can take care of ourselves. But we never thought about what that meant to have high multiples. Like, as I say, it becomes a game of zeros. So is that did we do the zero exercise?
Yeah, that's the thing. We did the whole zero thing. You were like, right now,
my point is, the whole money mindset thing is, I really think it's an inside job first. And I think it starts with worthiness, knowing that we have value, and that we don't diminish ourselves. And it's kind of almost part and parcel to the conversation you all were having earlier. It's us being able to put a demand on our value, which you have to be pretty solid in who you are, and not just your talent, but you need to know the impact of what you're doing. You need to know how what you're doing improves the lives of people, impacts their thinking, allows them to advance. That's value. Having talent, I mean, really, we surrounded by people with talent. They don't have any value.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but so real quick, and then I'll let you guys, we can talk, ask me questions. That'll be easier. But the zero exercise, which to your point, Zeke, I came up with that in the moment, and I followed that up just recently. I did an audio on the topic of the psychology of big numbers. Right. Because a lot of us talk about wanting to have a lot, but really, then you have to be willing to and very comfortable with 4-figure, 5-figure, 6-figure numbers. And a lot of people don't. And so the zero exercise is this, that your psychology or your confidence around money starts with the numbers. Pick a number between 1 and 9. If you're listening, pick a number between 1 and 9. And I'll be able to show you. And it doesn't really matter what that number is, but I would like to know, Zeke, what yours is. Eric, I would like to know what your number is.
Okay. A number between 1 and 9. Okay.
Right. So what's Eric, what's your number between 1 and
9? Right now, the number that came to my mind was 91.
You can one between 1 and 9.
Oh, 1 and 9.
We're still working on his counting skills.
I would say 7.
Mm-hmm.
7.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 9. I just 9 just feels good. It feels on the edge.
And so what we're looking for is your point of emotional dissonance, I'll call it, right? Where you get anxious. So, all right. So if you take your number, and I'm going to put a demand on you right now for that amount of money. So Zeke, I'm putting a demand on you for 7. Eric, I'm putting a demand on you for 9. Right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to break a sweat at $7 or $9. Right? Let's add a 0. I'm going to put a demand on you for 70. Put a demand on you for 90. You still probably okay. Mm-hmm. So let's just keep going and see where it gets, because we need this like right now.
Right.
And if you don't have it right now, I need you to be able to tell me your plan to be able to go out and earn that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'll give you 6 months. Right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's add another 0. So now we had 700 and 900. Mm-hmm. You still solid?
Yeah. Okay. I got 900. There we go. I got the 900.
Now, I'm putting a demand on you for 7,000 and 9,000. Are we? You got your checkbook? We ready to go?
I got my checkbook, but
right. Okay.
The debit cards.
All right, here we go. Now we at 70,000 and 90,000. I need that right now, or I need your plan to earn that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need an answer. You got it, or you either got it or you got it.
You got it, either got it or you got it.
That you have something in you, on you, around you that comes through you that can manufacture $70,000 or $90,000. But let's just take it a little bit further, just so we're clear, right? Mm-hmm. I need 700,000. I need 900,000, and we're gonna stop right there. Because if there was a demand, like in an emergency, you needed that much money, right? We probably didn't already tip you. We didn't tip you over, right? Mm-hmm. Or I put a demand on you to earn that. I mean, I need to know your plan. And so you'll find the number by virtue of adding zeros to figure out where is your point where you lose comfort, where you become anxious, where you become unsure, where you become exposed.
Mm-hmm. That 9,000 definitely for me. That's 900. Okay, maybe get that, but 9,000. All right, bet I can get a plan right at 9,000. That's easy to get a plan. 90,000 if you need it within 6 months. Oh, that gets it.
Gotta have it.
Yeah.
Eric, how you?
I get what you're saying. Like what Zeke just said, that certain amount, but when you get to the 90. It's got to be a way to get it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to have the plan, right?
There has to be a way. And that to me, that will force you, not in a negative thing, but force you to come up with a way to reach your goal. And once you get to that goal, I think once you get to that number, I think then you're inspired. Oh, I got here. I can get to the next one. Even, I don't know. To me, to me, I'm thinking like I would sit down and get a game plan and put some stuff in motion, whether that's partnerships, whether that's whatever. I don't know.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you the harder question then.
Okay.
Whatever that plan would be, why are you not already doing it?
Woo! See that? Y'all see what my brain be all jacked up.
I mean, seriously, but when you think about it, what is it in your life that gives you so much comfort and certainty that you're not thinking about how you thrive, right? And it's not just the money that you earn. That's the word we should use: earn, not make, but the money that you earn. Because the money that you earn is by byproduct of the value that you put out. Right? We're doing one of three things. This is where all your everything that comes to you, right? That's credible. We answer questions, we solve problems, we meet needs. We do those three things. If you do those three things, what would keep money from you?
Answer questions, solve problems, meet needs. Answer questions, solve problems.
Put that in the thing, Zeke.
Yeah. I'm gonna type that on the thing. Y'all see, I'm trying to take notes as we go.
Hold on a minute. Keep going, Zeke. I'm listening.
Yeah, you keep going, Tony. You got it. Yeah. Shout out to James Brown. He makes an appearance every now and again.
That's hilarious, by the way. So, I think that's really what it comes down to. But because we are so programmed to survival, we think to activate the plan in a crisis. The idea of bringing value just every day doesn't really occur to us. And it proves to us that we are working for the basic equation, which is food, clothing, shelter, which then, if you say you're a believer, why are you struggling for that when that came in the basic contract? Right? That exactly. I don't know why you're praying for something that you got as the door prize when you came in. That's silly to me. I'm just that's how I see it, right? Don't make me right. That's just how I see it. We circle around the basics, which again are already handled, right? Jesus talked about that. Food, clothing, shelter, that comes with the basic contract. You've got that already, but you will spend your whole life trying to achieve what you already have. So if you're surviving, you cannot thrive. Period.
Wow. And you know what's crazy? I like the way that you use this terminology, right? This terminology of surviving versus thriving. Because, and you know this, Tony, like in church world, we throw that word survivor around quite regularly, right? I'm a survivor. You survived. You survived. We survived, and we throw it around. We shout. The organ revs up. We run around in circles, and then we give the preacher the biggest offering we got, so that we can survive a little bit longer. So that God will give us the grace to survive a little bit longer. And you're challenging that and saying, "Nah, bro.
I'm trying to be so good. I'm trying to be a good citizen this morning."
You don't have to be. This is my show. You know how we talk, Tony. So,
in order to survive, for most people, all you did is not die. That's all you did. You didn't die.
No, don't say that one more time. When you survived, all you did is not die. That's all you did.
And that is so true.
Every day you wake up, you see you survive.
Right? Like, it's like when people like their birthdays, they want to make it like it's a national holiday or something. Another turnaround the sun. It's like all you did in the last 365 days was nothing. That's all you did.
You cannot survive, you cannot thrive.
This is
I think that is it though, right? And it's funny because I'm producing all this content because the new site for my coaching programs will hopefully go up this week.
Hey, shout out to that.
But the other part of this is, I think that problems are the new alchemy. Right now, let me slow down.
Yeah, I was
know
gonna,
what alchemy is.
you got to help the people out with alchemy. There you go.
And so the idea of an alchemist from back in the day was this idea of basically like they could produce gold from straw, right? You know, so if you see like one of those, I forget what the name of the old farm device is, but the images you'll usually see is something like that, and there is straw, but then they're pulling gold out of it, right?
Okay.
So that's the idea of an alchemist, right? Someone
kind of like a spindle or something like that, basically.
There you go.
Okay.
Someone that can create gold. But the visual is exactly correct, right? Take a fairly benign material like wheat or straw and spin it into gold. That's the idea of an alchemist. And so if the question is, where is your gold coming from? And can I get to this too? Everybody who's waiting for the gold to just fall out of the sky or just show up in your mailbox, stop that. Just stop it. Right? And you don't know one person that's ever made it to wealth or abundance by a magical envelope showing up in their mailbox.
Not at all.
That part.
But okay, this the only little I'm gonna give the church a little gut punch, because believers have been seduced by the doctrine of waiting.
The doctrine of waiting.
The doctrine of waiting.
The doctrine of waiting. Yeah,
because it's the church has been able to produce so little in the moment, and it has to project everything out to the future. It's coming. Wait on the Lord. They don't, shall renew their strength. And so we have embraced the idea of waiting. You talk about people who could stand up today and say, I have this business idea, right? And then you talk to them 3 years later, they've done nothing. But when you ask them about, hey, what happened to them? I'm waiting on the Lord. Really? You see what I'm saying? So that doctrine of waiting, it doesn't put us in a productive mindset. It doesn't inspire the urgency that's needed to move things ahead. You see what I'm saying? And so when I say that alchemy is the way to get the problems are the new alchemy. If you think about the things that frustrate you, inconvenience you, you don't like, other people don't like it, how is that not an opportunity to build something that people would happily pay you money for? Right? The large majority of all the money that ever leaves your hands is because someone's answering a question, solving a problem, or meeting a need for you. And you don't think about it. So the mindset of the average person is not to be a producer. It's not to be a creator. And that's where we were, Zeke.
Yeah. This is good because this, first off, so I'll be the first to admit it, and this is why Tony is somebody that I wanted to have on here, because you helped to shift my thinking to be different. Because that waiting on the Lord thing, well, I'm just waiting to see what I can do with this, and I'm just waiting to da. This morning live cast thing that I'm doing was the direct result of one of those conversations, which is, no, don't wait to put it together. I mean, you got the basics of how to at least get it going. It's not going to work until you at least at some level dive out there and then start with it. Like, you can sit around waiting. I think I told Eric and Rich this before we got going. I'll sit around and talk about how to do it for the next 6 months and make a plan for it. But at some point, you got to just dive out there and do it, because it's not just going, like you said, the golden check is not just going to fall out the sky and then you're the anointed one all of a sudden who will be able to make a podcast. No, you just got to get out there and grind the work. what's that, what's that thing that you have in you that you can do? And I said, okay, this is a thing I can do. But again, it was from the direct conversation around what you're talking about right now, because like I said, I'll be the first to admit I fall into that all the time. That whole, let me just wait and see what it's going to be. And let me try to, at some point, dive out there, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the other thing too, you said something there, Zeke, is perfect is not necessary.
Yeah. And
it's actually perfect. Actually, is perfect detracts from what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, the number is about 85%. Right. If at some point you can get to 85%, you can be wildly successful. Like nothing can stop you at 85%. But I think because people suffer from their lack of confidence, their anxiousness, imposter syndrome, they press into that last 15%, but you get nothing for that. Like people won't even recognize that, right? It's imperceptible in most situations what people do and not realize, no, get it out there, imperfect, get it out there, get feedback, get it out there, see it work for somebody else, and then build. And then we get to have some different conversations, right?
Yeah.
So now we're not talking about survival. Now we're talking about scale.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I built it. How do I build it bigger?
Yeah.
And predictably, right? Because now I need a process. So we get into some other types of things in order to do that. The beauty of, okay, so I've written books, I've recorded. The reason that I like these types of assets, right? I'm calling them assets, is because I can just duplicate it. I wrote this book already. I don't ever have to write this book again.
Man.
And could they could print millions of them, right? Or just hit copy in a digital world and no effort is needed. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I did it once, 10, 30, 60, 90, 100 times. Like all these multiples, like we see this in the Bible too. Where do you think these multiples are coming from? 30-fold, 60-fold, 90-fold. I'm gonna wait for y'all. Where does that come from? Because I've been hearing it all my life. No one's ever told me what that meant.
Well, in a practical sense, I would think like production, like the ability to produce. Like you said, you wrote the book one time. So all the work that went into having to do it, and me and my wife got into this conversation last night. This is why maybe it's so hot on my brain, because I was like, no, this is what we got to be able to do a thing. Like you can create something one time. So let's say it took you, and I don't know, this is probably a long time for you, but 3 months to write that book. There might have been a lot of studying, research, all this other stuff that goes into that time. But when the book is done, the book is done. Like you're not waking up every day at 8 a.m. Well, I got to go clock in and do the book. No, the book is written, it's published, it's produced, which means that you did that work one time and then you never have to do the work again. It gets into the hands of a publisher. Now you pay somebody for the service of binding it, printing it, doing all of that. And now the scale of it is basically infinite at that point because you did the work once. But over the course of the next 50 years, there might be, 7 million people who end up blessed by this book. You know what I mean? End up buying this book. And if you're selling that at, let's call it 10 million. Oh, yeah. If you're selling that at $10 per copy of the book, well, you're not clocking in for that. That's just doing what it's doing while you're on to creating and making other things that will replicate that same exact pattern,
Part of wealth is you have to, if you don't have a way that that you're making money in your sleep, then you're already off the program.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. You're already on the wrong thing. And let me just say this. You guys pace me because I don't want to go too far.
No, that's what you're here for. Like, trust me, this is
I feel like people are getting further from me the more than I talk.
No, this is what we need. And this is why I wanted you on. This is exactly why I wanted you on. I think that, like when I started doing this, again, you were it was the catalyst of the conversation that I had with Ari. And then when that didn't work out and I started talking to you, like the kind of conversations that I have with her and with those people who kind of like follow me musically and stuff like that is always like trying to pour into them, like, where that thinking comes from. But then I end up like talking to you and you know, like, and that's where I'm getting all of my big ideas and stuff like that from. And so I thought that this is a good platform to let people see that, because my fear is that inside of the church world, and I deal with a lot of church folks, as you know, like they think it's all just anointing. It's just everything's just anointing. And it's like, no, 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 no. I fell into that thinking, and what did it get me? Nothing but a good time at church. Like at some point, it had to have a plan. There had to be a plan. And so before I stepped back out, I even stepped away from social media world and all that stuff. And before I stepped back up, it was like, no, there's going to be a plan. We're not just going to be out here making decisions just haphazardly in the wind, waiting on God to reveal like a fire by night and a smoke of cloud by day. Like, no, there's plans and processes and people who have done this, who are giving us knowledge and information. And then when they give us the real of what it is, then we want to, well, where's the Lord in that? He made the thing. Like, you know what I mean? And like he made the ability for us to like create and do all of that. And so that's, and again, if it gets over people's heads, go feel free. They'll come back later and be able to see it.
It's an inability to really walk in the true identity of who you're supposed to be. Like, so the question I asked is, what is the 30, 60, 90? I've never heard anybody say what it is. And when they've attempted to, that always becomes God's responsibility, not yours.
Yeah.
Right. Why is that? And so again, the responsibility is being put in the wrong place. That's your responsibility. Right. Just like the parable of the talents. That was their responsibility to grow that money.
That's good. Yeah.
That's true. We could literally stop right there. What is your responsibility in your financial future?
That the full weight of the responsibility, I think, falls on me for my own financial future. Me and my family, my circle of influence, and I have to be able to get into it and make wise and, in my view, I guess, wise and smart decisions and choices, and not get caught up selling my time to things that won't build into that future. I heard Bernard Jordan say it like this a couple weeks ago. He said, you got to get healed from the disease of MWA, minimum wage activity. Like for getting paid for your time. And this is the way me and my wife talked about it. And I think I kind of got this from you. You can either get paid for your time, your expertise, or a product. But the product is the only thing that's going to pay you while you sleep. Your expertise, you got to spend time, study, and do all that. And it's not a bad thing. But your time, that's you clock into a job. So you get off at a certain time. You got to be there at a certain time. Somebody's paying you for the skill set that you have for your time to be able to do it. So if you want wealth, then you got to have ownership. Well, that means you came up with the product. You own the product that can be replicated over and over again.
It can be a service. You just don't want to have to be the one that delivers it all the time, right? This is the idea of scale. I talk to a lot of business people who own businesses, and they can't scale, and over time they get worn down. They're tired. It's all about them and all around them, and so nothing can happen in it without them. That whole thing. But it's interesting. If you have a business that can't operate without you, first of all you did was buy yourself a job.
Whew.
But then it also means that you do not have something that's saleable. I can't sell it. If it's all about you and wrapped around you, you cannot sell it. You can't ever get rewarded for your hard work, right? Which usually when we look at valuating businesses, it would be 3 to 5 times your annual revenues, let's say. But if it's all about you and it dies if you walk out the door, what can you sell? And that's why right now, this minute, there are tens of thousands of businesses that are for sale in this country because the people who own it, their kids don't want it. It's technologically in the dark ages, like it is nothing. And when they go, it goes. That is a disservice, right? You should, if you build a business, you need to build a business to sell a business. If you build it and run it that way, you'll run a better business than the one that you would if you were going to be in there and try to prove how great you are in it. Build it to make it saleable, even if you don't sell it. Maybe you pass it on to your kids, but build it to sell it, and you will build a better business.
Woo! Man, listen. Oh my God. This, piece of and so this you all in my conversation. I feel like I must have butt dialed you last night on my phone and you heard me and my wife talking. Because this literally the stuff we talked about. Like, I was asking the question. I said, this it's the idea, like a piece of language that I'm learning to deal with and maybe get out of my conscious. And this is for me, maybe this is for somebody else too, was the idea of I'm working for myself. Like, so what do you do? I'm working for myself. Well, like I get it on hand, but it's kind of like, no, I'm still having to go in to a job, clock in, do a thing. So I own the business, but at the same time, I got to punch a clock. Like, I'd be better positioned if I just let somebody else own the business. I just punch the clock because then I don't have the responsibility. But now I have to punch a clock and hold all the responsibility. I don't want to work for myself. I want to be the owner of the business. And if I work at the business, that's my choice. But I don't want to have to. Like, and you gave me a piece of terminology, I think maybe last summer. I was finally starting to get back up out of my shell. You use the terminology single point of failure. Oh, wow. Like a single point of failure. And that has stuck with me ever since. Like, like my computer, I think I had lost all the stuff on my computer. And it was like, that was a single point of failure. You lost your product, all that music, all that stuff you had, you lost it, but you had it only on one drive. That was a single point of failure. And I think what you're alluding to here, if you build a business where you have to run the business in order for the business to survive, that's a single point of failure. That's a single point of failure.
Yeah, and you're very exposed. And it's kind of interesting with some of the things that are happening now. I'm having more conversations with people who realize how exposed they are.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And this is when we were talking about infrastructure. They don't have an appreciation. Most people don't have an appreciation for how things really work. And again, that's one of the things that I have found out in my corporate life is I found out what infrastructure really is. Right.
Yeah.
That everything is built on something. Everything is connected to something. Right. Whether it's a third party that you buy from, ones that you sell to, your customers, your supply chain, within a company, it sits on this infrastructure between its leadership and HR and the physical plant and legal and all. And people don't have an appreciation for infrastructure. And so you don't know whether or not the ground you're standing on is stable or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when they start talking about tariffs, like I just said to you, for what we do, in that business, those tariffs are meaningful because it breaks the business model.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It breaks the business model where it's impossible for you to be able to maintain your earnings. And almost the first thing that has to happen is you're either going to significantly raise your prices, which I think, or to keep them the same. Now you got to let people go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when people say these tariffs alone, this don't mean anything to me, then you don't understand infrastructure. You don't understand the supply chain that brings something to your door, into your life. You have no idea where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, I buy Ford. That's made in America. No, it's assembled in America. Those parts come from Mexico, sweetness. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a vegan. Your avocados come from Mexico. Right? I'm this. Oh, your power comes from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
People, they have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Literally no idea. But let's make it more practical, because I want people to be able to at least have some things that they can do. Right. The idea that people are being creative or ideating and figuring out how they can create value just excites me. This is the conversation that I really love to have, because if we're having that conversation, something's going to get better.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Something's going to be improved. Someone's going to have a different option or choice. They're going to have a new technology, if you will. Technology just means a way of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give them a new technology. That's exciting to me. right? Think about how our lives have already been improved because somebody walked out their creative thought, right? The cell phones that we have, this was
Yeah.
just an idea in somebody's head. These computers that we're on, is just was an idea in somebody's head. The internet, an idea in somebody's head. The car, the dress, everything was an idea. So now we get into what I believe our real responsibility is, and that is to be creative. And
Yeah.
so what is the creative process? Taking the invisible and making it visible. Taking the intangible and making it tangible. Right? Taking the inanimate and making it animate. That's the creative process. So, all right. So this is what we'll do then. All right. Let me stop before I say anything else. Anybody in the chat with a question or something? Because I'm about to go somewhere. Eric, you got a question? Zeke, you got a question before?
Put your questions in there. Well, I don't have a question. I'm over here excited, and I'm always thinking.
This is crazy.
Somebody put a comment in the thing. They said, "No, we learning." They said, "No, you ain't getting too far. We're learning right now."
Right.
But I think you got people that's taking notes. Y'all, if you have any questions, obviously we have stuff over on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube right now. Shout out to all the people that's there. The people who are on Instagram, I promise we're figuring out a more convenient way to deal with comments and stuff over there, because the desktop version of Instagram is not cool. It's not sweet at all. So we're figuring that out. But if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them as we continue forward in this conversation. Let me start off right here. So I learned something. There was a difference between, and I don't want to veer the conversation the wrong direction. So whatever you're about to say, make sure you keep it.
No, go ahead.
I learned that there's a difference between wealth and riches, right? Like riches being money. And I learned this when I was getting my master's, right? One of my professors, he said, there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. There's a difference between the two things. Whereas riches is just money. It's just being able to have money. Wealth is being able to have ownership. And so like that thought in and of itself kind of challenged my own kind of thinking, because in our community, everybody just wants to get money. Everybody's idea is just get money. And so to me, it was like money almost feels like it's the end game, but there's so many steps you have to take to grow what money can be. So you've been talking about things like scaling, for instance, like having scalability and having all that. So sometimes spending money actually makes you even more wealthy. I think of like Michael Jordan. He bought into, I think it was Nike maybe, or something like that. He bought into it, which came at a huge expense of money to him. But then after spending that amount of money, he was listed as a billionaire. Like, you know what I mean? Because he had now ownership in something that cost him. And so my question would be, what do we speak to the people who obviously we get businesses because we want to make money and all that stuff like that? But should that be the first goal that we think about, is just, making more money? Or should the goal mainly be, and I don't even know if I'm asking this question right, or should the goal be, how to have like scale, and maybe understanding that you're going to take some losses when you're building something that's sustainable. You're going to take some losses. What is it, like first 5 years, you're going to expect a business that's going to be worth its weight in anything not to be profitable, so what is some, I don't even know that I'm asking this question properly.
I think that, and this is sort of one of the things that I learned, is that if I saw someone, so let's say they pull up and they get this mean car, like I'm just, expensive luxury car, it's shining. The question I used to ask is, I wonder how much they make to be able to have that car, right?
Yeah.
And then as I've matured, the question really is, what value do they produce that allows them to have these rewards? Right. So again, I think the mature way to look at it is not about whether or not I make money. Am I producing value? Because then it's a worthy exchange. There's ways for me to get money that are not ethical, that are not worthy.
Yeah.
What questions are you answering? What problems are you solving? What needs are you meeting? And that's where you have to back it up to. We're thinking about the end result, but we're not thinking about where it starts, which is the value. Okay, so here's where I want to go with this. So some years ago, NASA did a study. They were commissioned to do this study. And again, some things that people may not know. Every society has to have smart people to solve its problems. Right? And behind the scenes, they are looking at, will we have enough smart people to solve our problems? Our energy problems, our economic problems, our societal problems, our health problems, whatever those, every society needs a certain percentage of people who can solve problems, right? And so then that became a matter of, we need geniuses. We need geniuses. Now, right now, before people disconnect with me, because I said genius and people thinking I'm not one, so he's not talking about me, right? Because at this stage in life, you kind of know where you fit in. Right?
Yeah,
you know by now, right?
Good.
But this is what I want you to consider. So the way that the study was done, and it's called a longitudinal study. A longitudinal study is going to continually evaluate the same subjects, the same group, the same sample size, right? The exact same ones. Okay, I'll come back to this question. Don't let that go anywhere. It's long though. So let me get through this first.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple
they
questions.
decided to do then is they did this test on 5-year-olds to see how many of them were creative geniuses. Right? Zeke may have heard this, so I'm going to ask you, Eric. So at 5 years old, this group of 1,400 or so kids were tested to see how many were genius. What percentage do you think at 5 years old tested out as geniuses?
I would say at least 90%.
98%.
Go, Eric. Yeah, Eric.
So, longitudinal study. So now at 10 years old, those kids are going to be tested again. What percentage of them do you think tested out as geniuses at 10 years old?
Maybe 50.
We're like at 42. You're close.
Okay.
But we're going
I'm sorry,
now at 15 years old, we test them again. Same group of kids that at 5 years old, 98% of them tested out as geniuses. Now we're 15. What percentage of them test out as geniuses?
All of them. None of them.
Around 12, 14%.
Wow.
Right. And if you test the average adult today, 2% of them will test out as genius. Right. Let me give you the punchline. Like I look at Zeke as a creative genius. He looks at me as a creative genius. So let's just say we're both correct about each other. Let me give you the punchline here. You know why he's a genius and you know why I'm a genius? Because we never grew up.
Don't say that to my wife though. I'll be trying to convince her that I need.
But no, that makes sense.
Go ahead.
That makes sense to me. Honestly, it makes perfect sense because people always call me, say, you still. But I think a certain way because of that, the creativity, the way I think.
Right. And I think that I wrote this in my book that you can mature. It doesn't mean you have to grow up. But what I mean by that is if you think about a child, right? A child lives in its imagination. Anything is possible to a child, right? They could take a refrigerator box and now that's their fortress. You put a towel around and that's their hero cape.
Exactly.
Right? We live in our imaginations and it is so real to us, right? Everything is possible to a child. Most things are impossible to an adult. What happened to your brain? What happened to your mind? And so and Zeke knows this. I believe that our creative essence, that's our true godliness. The other stuff we wrap it around, and I'm a praiser, I'm a worshiper. That's great. You get your t-shirt. Your true essence, your true essence is to be a creator, right?
Mhm.
So if you think about the child, but then what happens? We start to curtail the behavior of a child. Firstly, to keep them safe, right? We want them to be safe. Don't do this. Don't touch that. Blah, 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 blah. You know, like I said, you ever see a little kid, you sit them up on the top of the refrigerator and tell them to jump? They coming down.
Right? Yeah. And they mind, they can do that.
They don't have the fear. Fear is not there. A lot of the things that were done to us to keep us safe just taught us what to fear. Right? Go ahead.
So let me ask this question. At this point, when children, like you just said, at that age, when we're young, everything's possible. There's no limit. Can we translate that then to an extent? Is that a comparison to the faith that God wants us to have? Is that really faith instead of just imagination? Because it's not limited.
I don't think it's even necessary to take it that far, because the way that we deal with faith is like it's an assignment. I'm talking about your essence. I'm not assigning you anything. I'm not telling you to have faith. I'm just telling you to be what you were created to be, which is a creator. It's not a class you need to take. This is about recapturing your essence. And this is the point. And I'm glad you said that, because then
that was what somebody asked.
Right. But you get what curtails you in the home, and then you step into an educational system that is more concerned about memorization and regurgitation of facts than it is about creativity, solving problems, actively building anything, right? Because this educational system was really designed to make a good factory worker, right? People who can do the same thing over and over, not ask any questions, right? These sort of automatons.
All of the roles, all of the
this educational system. So you take those two things together, and over time, it just kind of dumbs us down, right? And so for people, and this is what I say, with Zeke and I never grew up. Like I have a wild, imagination, wild sense of humor, because my thoughts are so vivid and so active, right? That's literally where it comes from. And the only reason I would bring it up is not to make people feel bad about it, is that I'm saying you can recapture that, but you have to now start to work that muscle, right? Just like if you were laid out for 5 years, we kept you alive, but you didn't move, your muscles would begin to atrophy, and you would have to learn how to use them again. And I'm saying that for some people who are listening to this, your ability to be able to capture what is that idea, what is the question I'm going to answer, the problem I'm going to solve, or the need that I'm going to meet, is by you awakening your creative genius and seeing a new world of possibilities, right? And that comes from the easiest thing that you can do to start to do that is play. Play games, draw. Go get you some Play-Doh, get you an Etch-a-Sketch, whatever. But start to live in your imagination. And don't worry about looking different or strange. So in the book, the example is walk into a coffee shop. So there's a guy and his son sitting at a table, right? You want in to get your stuff, they're already there. And the parent is sitting there on their computer, and the kid is sitting there playing with some blocks, let's say. You wouldn't think twice, because that seems like a normal scene to us, right? But now you walk into that same coffee shop, and the kid is playing with the blocks, but now the parent is playing with toy cars across that would get our attention, because that's not what adults are supposed to do.
Yeah.
That person, that adult playing with those cars out in public while a kid is playing with, is more connected to their creative genius than anybody standing around who would judge them for doing that. You have to recapture that sense of wonder where anything is possible. You have to believe you can fly.
See, Zeke, what he just said. Now I don't feel as crazy as people. No, and it's because of the things.
It's true though.
because the things I think of, people say that's impossible. Who says it is? I've never been in the box person. I think you can do whatever you try to do. So I get it. I get exactly what he's saying.
Yeah,
I get it. I don't believe in impossibilities. Man. I just
absolutely.
So I think that creating that environment for yourself, you know, starting to play an instrument, and it's not like you ever got to play in front of people. It's not about that. It's allowing your mind to start to explore this. So like, okay, so Mervyn Hammond asked this long question, and it starts with, and properly is capitalized, right? How do we properly, thank you, collaborate with the Holy Spirit in the creative process? So I'm gonna stop you right there. We're over indoctrinated to think like this. And here's what I would challenge you with, Mervyn. And I get where you're coming from, but here's what I would challenge you with. Look at the large majority of all the technologies, the remedies, and things that impact your life today. Right? We talked about cars and cell phones and cars. In fact, are these coming from fire baptized, tongue talking creatives? No, I don't have. This is going to sound harsh, but I got to say it this way.
No, say it.
No, say it. That's what Zeke in the Morning is.
Not have to negotiate with the Holy Spirit about my true essence. It's just who I am, and that's what I'm saying. We think that everything has to go through a filter of permission. Everything has to go through a filter of command. I'm saying just be. Just be. Be.
Yeah, exactly.
See, okay. Let me help you out again. and I don't want to make this a thing, because I'll go off the rails.
No, it's all good. And Mervyn is one of our faithful listeners, so we appreciate it.
According to the writ, right? When Jesus was asked, "What's the greatest commandment?" All right, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. You gotta love you, love people, right? That's always right. But that simple thing, we get that. We hear that. Keep moving, and I get it. I'm more attracted to what came after that. On this hinges all the law and the prophets, which, if you allow me to interpret this way, basically says if you nail this part, you don't even need the book. You're never going to violate it. Love God with everything you have. Love your neighbor as yourself. Class is dismissed. Go live your life. Live your life.
Look. Woo! Yep.
Because again, so I told you that one of the most damaging doctrines in church is the doctrine of waiting, right?
Yeah, the doctrine of
I
waiting.
think the other one is the doctrine of perpetual brokenness.
Perpetual brokenness.
Right. There's always something wrong with you. You're never.
There we go. Yeah.
You're still a sinner. And we have been, many of us, depending on what Reformation you came up in, every week you're being reintroduced to your limp. And part of it keeps us. Listen, I'm just being.
No,
this Zeke live in the morning. You know how I get now.
It keeps us on the literal teat of religion, where you're never strong. Like, imagine going to a hospital you can never leave.
And you know, that's the crazy thing, because we use that language in church. At least my generation, they used to hear that all the time from the folks ahead of us, which was the church is a hospital. And early on, I used to hate that terminology, because I was like, the church is a hospital, then why you get mad when people leave? Like, because what hospital? Like, what kind of weird world?
Look in particular, if you look at the ministry of Jesus, and we got to move off this, because this is going to hurt somebody's feelings, and that's not what I want to do.
Now we here to shake stuff up. That's why these people tune in with us.
I think
Shout out to Mervin.
It's kind of shook already, probably. So
that's what we're here for, though.
If you look at all those people, in particular, if you look at the ministry of Jesus as we see it in the Gospels, all those people that he ministered to that wanted to follow him, he released them to their own recognizance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Release them. Basically, go, you cool. Go live your life. The church says don't leave, because if you leave, we can't live. Right?
That's what it boils down to when you really think about it, though. Real talk.
I'm gonna prove it to you right now. We have not even begun to see the financial instability that's about to come into this country. We haven't even begun to see it yet, right? Mm-hmm. Because the church, and I'm at large. I don't know your pastor. I ain't talking about I ain't never been there. I'm gonna have to speak in general terms. So
yeah.
cradle your emotions. Because the church does not have an answer for right now, right? Right. You saw that message. I'm not going to expose that on here and be nice, but because they've not had an answer other than we got to pray. I don't think it's time for us to pray. I think it's time for us to act. I think it's time for us to have a plan. And some people right now are wishing they had a plan. I'm talking about a plan like, I got 3 envelopes. If this happens, open this envelope. We on this plan. But if it really just all hit the fan right now, people would have to start to figure out what they're going to do. How do you not know? How do you not know which way the wind is blowing? How can you not sense what is in the atmosphere? And we're supposed to be connected to the source of all knowledge. We're
all these prophets
that's supposed to lead us and guide us into all truth, and then show us things that are to come. And you surprised about everything. Help me out. No, I'm so serious. Help me out. And then if I don't know, you must have sin in your life. I can read the newspaper. I'm not dumb.
Yeah. This is what we was talking about yesterday. I think, Eric, was either yesterday or last week. It was like either the prophet line, God line, or somebody.
When it really gets bad, for a lot of people, I'm not saying maybe not everybody, but for a lot of people, rather than you be under the voice and leadership of someone that can help you institute your practical plan, right? It will seek its own survival and try to get from you what you don't even have.
Mm.
All right, let's get off that. All right, let's go. Let's. So I think that once we get engaged, Zeke,
give more.
I can't.
I
can't. I want to. I'm really trying to be nice. So. Because again, I want people to get something from this, because these conversations can go in so many different directions and get really deep and into a lot of different things. But I want to be helpful to people, right? And to understand that, to your earlier point, Zeke, like this doesn't just come out of thin air.
Yeah.
Right. Like I said, talking to my son, it's like I had to get a little distance from being able to pay my bills to thinking, oh, I could build something. Like that was a shift, right?
Yeah.
And part of it was like you get to a place where here's how you know you got a little money. You don't even know when you get paid.
That's real talk, though.
I have no idea when my paychecks. I just don't know. They just
they in the bank. They just there.
Well, because that means that every time I go to my bank account, there's more than enough there to do what I need to do. Right. So one of the one of the earlier books that I wrote. I co-wrote a book called The Believer's Guide to the Law of Attraction some years ago. Right, it's out of print now, and I followed that up with another book called More Than Enough. Right, but and I think the byline, the subtitle was basically how to make a habit of abundance. And I went through, at that time, I used to teach a class called Kingdom Money Matters, right? And then that became the foundation of that book. So it's all built on, that particular book is all built on biblical principles, right? Which, by the way, here's the thing that also, too, the heavily indoctrinated have a challenge with. Those principles will work for anyone. You don't have to be a certain way. The principles are the principles.
Because principles are, like you said, because principles are principles. It's not connected to it. It just is what it is.
It's not about your religion. It's not about your reformation. It's not about your denomination. The principles are the principles.
Yeah, if you put water under 32 degrees, like for example, for the people, to me, if you put water under 32 degrees, you don't have to pray for it to freeze. It's gonna freeze because that's the principle.
Right. And it ain't freezing because you saved, and not gonna freeze for the next person because they're
right.
I
commanded to freeze in the name of Jesus.
The rain falls on the just and the unjust. These principles just work. The laws of physics just work. The laws of geometry just work. Right. What is it?
Let's see. So we got a comment from the YouTube side, a question from the YouTube side, and it is in direct relation to your book. I'm gonna put it up on here. How do you apply principles, speaking of principles, from your book when it comes to business and the music world? So we got music people and all that.
So my question that is, which book? My answer is which book? Probably means Principles of the Live Free Lifestyle. So Principles of the Live Free Lifestyle, I think that in general, I'm just going to let's just take a quick gander and see which ones would apply, because clearly they apply to life. But it's funny because like my golf book really applies to golf, but it also applies directly to life too.
Sure.
For the wise who can read between the lines. Tradition of the talking stick definitely applies to business, in terms of being heard and really building teams in a sense of community. Solve the solvable problems, for sure.
We've been talking about that for sure today.
Did you really just pee on my carpet? Yes, because that's about having taken accountability and the ability to have difficult conversations. Being mature does not mean you have to grow up. I think that one applies. Stillness is an illusion. We're gonna put that off to the side. That might be a little bit. That's a little bit different. But the first quote in it says, "You're never standing still. Every moment moves you closer to or further away from what you desire." That's in that one. So that's a different one. But I would say largely all life lessons come with tuition. Got that. And definitely, I'll stop here. Gold under your feet definitely applies to business. So there's a lot of things that I think that I write or speak to that goes in those directions. You know what I mean?
I gave that book. I still got to order another copy of that book. I've been saying that for 9 months now, 8 months.
I mean, there's the book.
I got to order another because I gave my book and my workbook to somebody in Norway. I was like, "Oh, you would get a lot of value from this." Like I was reading it on the plane and going through it, and it's an easy read. It's a really easy read. It's written intentionally, as you said, this way. It's written so that you don't have to necessarily start at chapter 1 and go to. You can just open the book.
You can just crack it open with it.
And just get something out of it.
Look, so let me say this finally. So I probably got about 10 or 15 minutes left.
Yeah, sure.
I think that because, as I'll say, as the lateness of the hour, right? People will have to embrace working together. What we need to do to attempt to do it without community is a mistake. It will be disastrous. But because of what we've been through as a people, we are over attached to our sense of individualism. Right? Everyone wants to stand on their own. Everybody got to have their own. We would be the only ones that, you know, we leave our homes. First of all, I think we leave too early. I know that's a tough one, but sometimes I think people leave too early. And
when you say leave their homes too early, you mean like at a young age, basically?
I think that they leave too early to quote unquote have their own thing, do their own thing. And what they're looking at is they're looking for autonomy to be able to express their right to make decisions. Right.
Yeah.
But the priority should be how am I building my legacy? And so it's off-putting to us because typically someone who lives in the, let's say the household that they grew up in for too long, if you're a man, you're not even qualified. Why don't you have your own place? You're a woman, you need your own. But if we look at other cultures, they stay together because they're working together. They stay together because they're working together.
That's good.
Right. So in their community, right? Because in order to be part of a community, you need empathy, right? You need discipline. You need accountability. Some of our people don't like any of those things. Right? So we were in Puerto Rico having breakfast at this great spot. It's called La Vistas, beautiful views. But there was a table behind us of people of Asian descent, and they were having a conversation. And it was an older Asian woman, and she was talking to this younger group about her making her first $1 million. Right? And it went from that to the people that she was going to introduce them. You need to know such and such and blah. So what is she doing? She is putting them in position. Right? But then the line was basically, you got to run with the program. The accountability has to be there. See, we want access and entitlement without accountability. We don't want to answer to anybody. But for what we need to do, for what you could do right now, you have to be able to work in community. You have to be able to work in partnerships with one another. And understand that everybody could bring something different to the table. Right? This would be a good place to end. Because what I would challenge people with is, like we kind of started with the zero game in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I now need you to choose 4 people. So it's going to be a total group of 5. I need you to choose 4 people that you would sit in a room with for 8 hours and say, we're not leaving here until we come up with some $1 million ideas. We're not leaving. Who's your 4 people in your circle that you could sit down with? First of all, share openly your ideas. Because I don't want nobody stealing my ideas.
Yeah.
I got a whole thing on how you don't own that idea anyway, right? You think it's original because you think it came into your head, when in fact it probably came from somewhere. That's a spiritual conversation you don't even want to have right now, right? But I'm asking you, Zeke, I'm asking you, Eric, who are your 4 people? You're going to sit in a room for 8 hours. Like, we're not, as long as it takes, we're going to tarry here. With some $1 million ideas. Who is?
So again, just to be clear, is it myself plus 4 or myself plus 3? Okay.
It's yourself plus 4. And I don't need the names, but I need to know whether or not
like,
you have such a group.
Oh, I got some names, man.
I got, like, if I'm being honest, I probably got 2 to 3 for sure. 2 to 3 for sure.
I'm interested for people in the chat. Who do you have such a group of people that you say, and because really what you're saying is, I'm going to share with this person, I'm going to build with this person, And if we should happen to both have different ideas, I'm still going to support this person while they're building. They're going to support me while I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have those people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we'll end it right here then.
Mhm.
If you have those people,
Mhm.
why are you not building with them?
Why y'all not sitting in the room actually doing that work?
Wow, I gotta put James up for a minute. I gotta fall back on the floor.
Before you go, can I bring up one of my people who is one of those people?
Yeah.
Because y'all need to meet each other. I've been wanting y'all to meet each other for at least 20 years now. Like, so I gotta at least put this moment. Rich, I'm just gonna put you on the stage. He wasn't ready for that.
It's Rich home.
What's up, your microphone on your side. There it is. Rich, can I officially introduce you to my cousin Tony?
Absolutely, Tony. It is a pleasure to finally meet you.
This is a great moment for me, y'all.
Oh my God. I've heard so much about you, sir. Oh my goodness. Yes, sir.
Because while we're talking about who are those four people, Rich is probably the first person besides you, Tony, that I call every time when I'm thinking I'm doing something, and he, you know, he gets on me for some of the same stuff you get on me for. Just be honest, you know. But it's that last 15%, that little perfectionism Zeke that has to get it right, that makes me sit on stuff too long. And so, like, you know, these are things that I'm overcoming, and that's why I wanted, you know, you to be on here today, because as I'm figuring out how to overcome it, I know I can't be the only person in the world dealing with that, you know. And so, you know, I take the fall for everybody. For those who waiting on divine inspiration. But yeah, I wanted y'all to definitely meet each other. Put some, I wanted y'all to meet each other, because Rich is, you know, he's business minded in that way, you know, and he's business minded, just like you know. Yeah.
Man, you've been talking some great stuff today. I hope people really been paying attention and catching them nuggets. My goodness, man. It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I've seen a lot of comments talking about it. Okay. People have been intrigued. I love it. Love talking about the money mindset. That was it, there, man.
Oh man. I probably could do 2 hours just on that, really digging into where our money psychology comes from. How that gets expressed.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, the report part of that is, what choices are you making with every dollar that comes into your hand?
Yeah.
You know, we are a well-trained consumer group, right? But in terms of building and investing, it's pretty foreign to us. But until we tap into the multiplicative advantages of money, then again, we don't get there. And then it is being open to the subtle cues, and hearing, you know, being able to hear inside what people are saying. You know, like I ended up with property, not because I had the genius idea that, oh, now I'm going to invest in real estate. I got shamed into it. Because I was standing next to a guy out on the street who was a bartender, and he's talking about his real estate portfolio. I'm sitting there like, I know I make more money than this dude. How we have a whole portfolio? I don't have a doghouse to rent. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my buddy who was there at the time is a real estate guy, and we walked from there back to his house. And I said, dude, we got to fix this right now. Yeah. So I live outside of St. Louis most of the time. And we were in the Philadelphia area. So I said, okay, we're going to do it here. I said, because you're my guy. And so it had been a long time, but then the first real estate property I bought was a triplex outside of Philadelphia. The next one I bought after that was a 7-unit apartment building in Belleville, Illinois. And then after that, I bought my condo in Puerto Rico.
You said Bellwood?
Belleville.
Oh, Belleville. Gotcha.
You know, so you go from that to owning, you know, over $1 million worth of property, but not because I'm you know, I got shamed into. It's like you need to be doing something different with your money and with your access.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how it comes. So maybe something has been said here this morning If it doesn't motivate you or inspire you, maybe it'll shame you. As long as you get there, I don't really care.
Come on.
You can leave here, mad to your behind catch fire. If you turn around and do something, then I celebrate that.
Right.
Sometimes we have to be provoked to do the right thing. Sometimes somebody's got to shake us out of our stupor.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, so where did we start? We did the zero test, right?
Yep.
We talked about what is that
zero
plan that you would enact in that 6 months, and then I asked you, if you have a plan, why don't you have one now? And we talked about these 4 people that you would partner, build, ideate, and create with. If you can imagine who those people are, especially when you see what's happening in the air, you can perceive the environment that we're in. Why aren't you already doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, please tell me you're going to start today.
Mm-hmm.
If you just started today, do you know where you could be a week from now, a month from now? Right? And this is the key. And this is usually, people would pay me to hear me say these words. I'm going to say them for you, Zeke.
Hey,
That's what's up.
Is that, and I just went through this recently because there's a business on the East Coast that I do some coaching with. So we do like their year in review, right? We had that meeting a few weeks ago, and the dynamics of the business are changing, right? And I remember saying to them, if $1 million piece of business walked up to your doorstep, it would overwhelm and crush your business because you have no ability to deal with that.
Yeah.
You don't have any processes in place. You've not even imagined that type of success. It literally would crush you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was working with someone else who was working with a group of people wanting to open a business, right? A storefront. And it was one of these things where it's 4 people. And I'm saying, so what's the structure? Like, what does that look like? Right? And for them, we all in this together. We all friends, 25, 25, 25, 25. Everybody got 25%. And what I know from my experience, that's a mistake. Right? That is absolutely a mistake. Never overvalue someone's contribution. Right? But we go 25, 25, 25, 25 because we want to be fair. I don't even use that word.
Come on.
What I want to be is equitable. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to be fair. I want to be equitable.
Love it.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got to thinking about it, from bringing these 2 situations together, I said, if I'm going to partner with somebody, because please come up with a partnership agreement, right?
Yeah.
We know what the business is, but it's about on ramps and off ramps. How do we get in? And when it's time, how do we get out? Right? And we may not all leave at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? We need to have artful and planned ways for people to exit our business. But then I thought about it. If it's not going to be 25, 25, 25, 25, because we're thinking about equal contribution, right? So let's say the business to launch is going to cost us $100,000. Everybody puts in 25, we good. But it often doesn't work out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do I figure out what my structure is, right? I promise you, this is what people pay for, Zeke. But hear this.
I already know.
Hear this.
This is the real consultant work right
These are
here.
the things that you can bring. You can bring capital, right? Some people have the money. Some people have the subject matter expertise. Some people have the time, right? Because some people, the person who got all the money, they out there earning that money somehow. They can't sit there in your storefront all day.
That's
right?
the conversation that changed my life right there.
We can have someone with just a different type of know-how that makes this thing run. We have someone who just has the time to nurse this thing.
Yeah.
And then we have people who can have access, right? They're networkers. They can get us in front of people or indoors we would not get in. Each one of those things has a value to a business. But it's probably still not 25, 25, 25, 25. And to think through what those things are and the way that you would structure it based on what a person is contributing gives you a much better basis to build a business. And then someone has to be okay with, I'm 15% of this. Somebody else could be a whole 50.
Yeah.
Right? But the way we do it, when the checks start getting written and somebody's getting a bigger check than us, then we have a problem with that because you don't understand value.
So how do you speak to that, if you can, if we got a few more minutes? Is it just being selective with the crew that you're working with? Or how do we kind of deal with that mindset of, I don't want nobody to get more than what I'm getting? Is that just a, how do we deal with that?
And they're not ready. They're not ready. They have a minimalist thought, right? They got all kinds of stuff wrapped up in there.
Yeah.
It can't be that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm still, if I become 15% of something that becomes worth, 10 million.
Yeah.
I'll take my 1.5.
It's just challenging to get people to see that bigger picture right there.
But if they have to be convinced that's not your person.
Got it.
Mhm.
They're just not your person.
Got it.
Right. And I like the idea of bringing people together. The NDA thing, move that off to the side. If we got to do that, then either you shouldn't be in the room or the other person shouldn't be in the room. We have to start there.
Yeah.
But I think that people have to, as I call it, pay their taxes, right? There's some way that you demonstrate your accountability. So let's say we're going to do something. We're all going to read this book, and we show up to talk about the essence of this book. You're like, oh, I was busy. I didn't get to. You just disqualified yourself. Because it's always the people who didn't prepare that always got so much to say. They want to suck all the oxygen out the room. You are disrespecting our time.
Yeah.
Right? You're not honoring everybody else's commitment. You have diminished your voice. So I think that there are ways to test people.
Yeah.
Right? That they prove their worthiness to be at the table.
That's good. That's good.
True.
I got tons of questions. I don't know how much time we got. I can talk.
You can ask me another question. I got like 5 minutes.
So here, and I'm gonna shift a little bit. I know you guys mentioned church a couple times in this conversation. I guess what I want to talk about is really, we see a lot of times where we hear people say church should not be treated as a business. They need to be treated as church, and then business should be separate. Then we have other people who say it can be combined together. I would love to hear what you have to say when it comes to that. Should people start treating businesses as a church or church as business? What's your thoughts on that, man? Help us out, man.
It already is one, right? When you set up a church under 501(c), that's just a different business structure.
Okay.
You can call it a nonprofit if you want. It's still a business structure.
Yeah.
But I think that ultimately what people, maybe we're over mixing the terms, because really what we're talking about is, does it have a structure? It needs a structure to operate, right? It needs processes if it's going to operate. And it definitely needs processes if it's going to scale. And who starts a church if they don't want to scale?
That
right?
part. Yeah.
So here's the thing. When I started in my career, I couldn't stand process. I thought people who talked about it and did it were just bureaucrats and just pushing paper around. Here's what I've learned about process. And this is why you need to have it. So this is still your structure. So again, whatever you put behind it almost doesn't matter. The churches that do these things really well that I'm going to tell you thrive. The others still waiting on their deliverance. They're waiting on God to do something. Whatever. Okay. All right. So here's what process gives you. It gives you a predictable result.
Predictable results.
If I'm operating within a process, no matter who's doing that process, I know what's going to come out of it. I get a predictable result. The second thing I get is I'm able to mitigate my risk, right?
Risk mitigation.
Everything has a risk to it, right? And when I have a risk, I can accept the risk, I can eliminate the risk, or I can mitigate the risk. Process allows me to be able to maintain that decision and be able to manage my risk, we'll say. That's the choice we make. We want to manage our risk because I may not be able to eliminate it, right? And anything with human beings, very difficult to eliminate risk, right? So I get a predictable result. I can manage my risk, but then it is the only way that I can scale. I scale through process because I know how to do it once. My process allows me to do it 10 times, now to do it 100 times, now to do it 1,000 times. So really, I think what you were talking about for me is just the structure that it sits on.
Okay.
And people get, and again, so maybe to say it's business is an overuse of the term, but I understand why people say it.
Right.
But really, we're just talking about what structure is this sitting on?
Okay.
And what are our practices? What are our policies? What are our processes? What's our vision? What's all those? These are terms we use in the business world, but who's more mantra than the church?
Mm.
Right? Who's more quote of the day than the church?
Mm.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
And so what we have people is they are more spiritual than they are practically capable and practical.
Okay. Got it.
Right? But then, man, why y'all take me down here? Because now I have to question your spirituality
First, right?
Because why is it not leading you to the things that you need to learn?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
That's what they told us.
We embrace the ignorance for the sake of being spiritual, being holy. And so now the people who are like that, to your point, because now I think about it, we're only asking that because the people who don't have it have to vilify the thing that they're not, when they don't realize you're supposed to be both.
Complete wholeness. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Got you.
So,
I appreciate that.
anyway,
I think that's good, even what you said with structure, even with the church. Because if you we talk about it, say we call them from the north, south, east, and west to come to the church, but we don't have nowhere to put them. If 1,000 people showed up, you have nowhere to put them. You have no structure in place.
You would have no process to put them through.
Yeah.
If you did, you can't scale it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good, sir.
You got one little person, teaching your new members class. What are they going to do with 100 people sitting in front of them?
Yeah.
You need more teachers. You need scale, and you need a process because we all want to teach the same things.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, I gotta go. I got a meeting starting right now.
Will y'all do me a favor? Y'all please give it up for my cousin Tony. I call him Tony. I'm sorry, Jerry Thompson. Tell them where they can find you because he got a meeting starting right now. But he the big boss.
Jerry A. Thompson on Facebook. The Real Jet World. Man, you got my stuff. Just put it up on the thing.
We'll plug it for him.
All right, I'll send you some links. I got to jump on.
You got to go jump out of here. Thank you so much for coming on. This is not your last time on here, obviously. So,
all right. You guys.
Love you, cuz. I'll talk to you. Y'all give it up for my cousin, the one and only Jerry Anthony Thompson. Y'all, like when I say the amount of that was so good, I need to take a quick break. This is what I want to do real quick because we're gonna come right back and we're gonna rehash some of that with the last 30 minutes. I want to play a song. Hey, can I play a song? I want to start playing some songs and stuff. I do want to say this. Shout out to my cousin Mike, Children's Painting out there on the East Coast, bruh. Don't Tony always got something like dude, Mike. Tony is always yeah, bro. Cuz I miss you. I ain't seen you in a while. I want to say thank you to Bronya, Mervin, all of y'all who asked like some tough questions. Y'all asked some real tough questions, and Tony is one of the people that he will. I'm telling y'all right now, he made a statement, and I'm gonna play this song so I can get me some coffee and take a pee break. I know Eric and me, we've been out here because we've been soaking this in. I didn't want to take a break in the middle because I knew he had to go at some point. He stayed on a little bit longer than he was going to be able to. But he made a statement earlier when he said that the people, like we were talking about, equity and all that kind of stuff like that, what people's equity is inside of a business and all of that. And he made a statement, said some people have the time, they got all the time in the world, but they don't got the money, because if you got time, then you ain't got necessarily the money. If you got all the money, well, you got to earn that somewhere, which means you ain't got the time. And when I was trying to decide, should I leave the corporate world? Because I was on the scale a little bit. Rich, my corporate history, I was on my way. I was on my way.
6 figures, glory to God.
And then, for real, straight out of college, I was at this point, I would be a CEO or something like that. That's where my trajectory was going. But I had this whole music thing on the inside of me. And first person I got a flight. He was still in Philadelphia at the time. I went to Philly. And we was in there, and one of the first things he told me says, people with the time often don't have the money, and the people with the money don't have the time. You got to choose what side of the equation you gonna be on until you make it work. And that changed the entirety of my life. Otherwise, I'd still be the corporate dude. Like, so this was good conversation. This was amazing conversation. Can we play a song? We gotta push music, and then we have a sponsor we have to make sure to push because they are our sponsor for the week. Can we take a quick break just on that? I want y'all to tune in and enjoy. Do me a favor though. Did you get something out of that? Leave your comments. Did you get something out of the conversation that we had today? Because this is what we want to do on this live cast in the morning time. I want you to be able to leave with things that are going to basically like build you up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we all about over here. Man, Rich Holmes, like this. What you think about that, Eric? What y'all think about it?
Man,
like,
I thought it was awesome, man. Y'all
was great.
So many nuggets in there that he gave, and I love the build to sell. Oh my goodness! If people can understand that concept, build that business to hopefully scale it eventually. So that is great. I love that. That's building wealth. That's that wealth talk.
Yeah,
so,
that's wealth talk right there.
Move.
That's wealth talk. Well, I'm gonna play this song real quick, y'all. This is by Jamaica Lachey. The song entitled "I Don't Want It," produced by New X Entertainment. Y'all need to go ahead and download it while I go get me some coffee, and y'all enjoy Jamaica Lachey.
Woo!
Stand up, never lay down. Used to see us in the back, we in the front now. They tried, we did. Stepping up, no chill, I'm about to go in. Steady dancing in the clouds, got Abba walking mouse, talking handshake smiles for the big win. Almost on the reach in, trying to put their bid in, hoping they can slide just a piece in. But this ain't for the weak, for the hearts wanna sleep. Put a guard on your piece, gotta stand in your sleep. Take a breath and be meek, gotta take it from me. No one can do you like you do it. Be fluent in you, that's a movement. Stay focused on you, it's not selfish, it's true. It is only to you that you prove it. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these voids, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, I don't want it, yeah. People used to talk how me could falling off, now they looking for my corner. Red bomb on the backtrack, I ain't cutting no slack, it's a new order. Set my team real strong now. Kingdom coming like the song now. Guaranteed on this walk, you won't believe, but his word is the creed, and my faith equals free. No one can do you like you do it. Be fluent in you, that's a movement. Stay focused on you, it's not selfish, it's true. It is only to you that you prove it. Hey, it is only through him that you prove it. Woo. It is only through him that you prove. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these voids, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, yeah. Entangled entrapments, the pressures of being down. Transcender traps and dead bodies have shined the clouds. Depression's a trophy for Gen Z, and socials will kill you with envy, fabricating the lie through the enemy. My state, it is altered and change has occurred. Intention is heavy on serving this word. My being has meaning, no love lost, I made it. I'm good, I believe me, that's true, I don't think. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these voids, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, I don't want it, yeah. If I can't feel no love, I don't want it, yeah. If you can't feel these voids, I don't want it, yeah. If it don't bring me joy, I don't want it, yeah. I don't want it, I don't want it, yeah. Yep.
Me and this microphone situation. Yo, that was the one and only Jamaica Lachey with "I Don't Want It." That song, yo, I'm telling y'all, that song is Fly. I love that song. That's that. What y'all think about that song? That song is like, if it ain't bringing me love, joy, peace, money, any of that stuff, I don't want it. And we had great conversation today around that right there. Like, some of us need to get some stuff out of our way that ain't lining up to our goals and stuff like that. Y'all, did I tell y'all we have sponsors? Did I tell y'all we have people who sponsor? Yeah, Rich Holmes. People and this real, no cap. People want to sponsor on here because y'all are viewing us. Y'all are watching what we're doing. And for those of y'all who are with us every day, I mean, I don't want to start naming names, but I will say Abronia, Mervin, JR, like y'all, I say JR. JR, that's JR. Like cats like y'all, and there's other people too, but some of y'all been on with us. We started last Wednesday. Y'all been with us from the jump, and y'all on every day, and y'all comment, y'all ask questions, and we like that. There is no way to express the gratitude that right out the gate. Rhonda on the rock, she'll be with us tomorrow. Woo! Like this, that's gonna be another interesting, dope conversation. Yesterday was dope with Pastor Bill. Today with Tony was so many nuggets that, my God have mercy, I don't know how to. Hey, you need to archive today's conversation for real. If you are a business owner and you need to archive today's conversation. This, like, we looking for the Lord to drop a word from heaven and tell you that you gonna be rich when he telling you how to get rich. Like, and not just how to get rich, but how to get ownership, how to get wealth, how to build black wealth, especially in these times. And so that's why we always want to support businesses, especially those that support us. So our sponsor for the week is Mystery Melodies. Y'all, can we give a shout out for Mystery Melodies? They are a murder mystery organization. They put on shows, murder mystery stuff. I'm gonna read what they gave me. Dive into an evening of intrigue and fun with Mystery Melodies, the interactive murder mystery experience hitting Chicago. Perfect for corporate gathering. Let me get my reading together. Perfect. I feel like when Webby, was that Webby, when he was on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne Negnet, and oh God, these names I can't read. I'm exposing myself. Let me start over. Dive into an evening of intrigue and fun with Mystery Melody, the interactive murder mystery experience hitting Chicago. Perfect for corporate gatherings, birthday celebrations, themed social events, or simply a fantastic night out with friends. Enjoy an unforgettable evening packed with music, suspense, laughter, and mouth-watering catering. That's y'all know that's what we looking for, the catering. Give me the show, but give me that catering. Who all gonna be there and who gonna be cooking? Who made the potato salad? That's what we want to know. Engage with intriguing characters, collect clues, and work together to unravel the ministry. The mystery. I got Jesus on my mind. The ministry. Work to unravel the ministry. Don't miss out on the thrilling adventure. Join us for a night to remember. I'm gonna just tell y'all who I know about them. Y'all, if you've never been to a murder mystery, like the game Clue, is what I think of. There's a show on Peacock right now where they're doing like that whole thing. If you ever played the game Mafia, it is a lot of fun, and it's something that we don't have a lot of in the black community, like a lot of mystery, stuff like that, like the mystery thing. And so one of our co-hosts and his family own Mystery Melodies, and they figured out how to put music. And one of the things that they love to do, him and his wife Shantae, they love to do like those murder mystery dinners. And they looked at it and they said, "Oh, we can do this in the black community." And they did it. They did the key example, a prime example of what we were talking about today, just launching out and doing it. And let me tell y'all something. I've been, and it's fun, y'all. And now I'm not saying this because they're a paid sponsor. Now I'm just saying it based on my own experience. So it's fun. Like, if you ain't never did it before, it is so fun. And there's not a lot of opportunities in the black community for these kind of things. So I'm grateful that they're doing it. You know what I mean? I'm honest to God, I hope more people, I hope y'all actually go on Mystery Melodies. We'll make sure the information gets on here to where you can get tickets for shows that are coming up, because it really is a lot of fun trying to figure out who done it. over dinner with your friends and stuff. Man, tell them a little bit about it since we do have the honor of one of our co-hosts actually owning the thing. He can talk a little bit about it for real.
Yeah, it's a fun immersive experience. I know my wife, I think Tay is coming on later on this week to kind of just explain more, but it's a fun time to hang out with friends and family. Again, we wanted to just give a different experience or add our culture to a murder mystery. You know what I mean? Something that your cousin talked about was, you may think it's a great idea, but it's been here before. The idea of a murder mystery been here before for a long time. We're just adding to it. We're adding our sauce to it. So that's what makes it different and unique. So you got to come check it out, man. They got some great singers, great performers, great music, along with some acting, so theater involved as well. So you'll have a good time.
And don't forget the food. You ain't just sitting in the room. It's over dinner. Like, it's a dinner night. Like, and real talk. So the first time we ever did it, I think it was your birthday or Tay's birthday or something. It was somebody's. Yeah. We went to a thing that they had, like a murder mystery thing. He was like, no, it's gonna be fun. And I was like, it ain't gonna be that fun. Like, and then we got there and I had a blast. I had a good time. And it was kind of like, we was like us and maybe like another table of a black family, but it just ain't in our community. And it was just a white company that was doing that thing. And I'm not making this about black and white. I'm just saying there are some things that happen in some cultures that are fun and we don't get to experience them. And so you actually took that idea and said, no, we love doing this. We love going to these and we want to bring this and have this experience for our community. And then I went to y'all's and you incorporated the whole music aspect and soul food. And so it was unique to us and it was fun. Like, it was just a good time. Like,
glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like, that's just real talk.
Yeah,
that's real talk. So
do it though, because like I said, you gotta just do it. You gotta start.
Yeah, you just gotta start it. Just try. So they are our weekly sponsors. So we'll talk more about them all through the week. Hopefully, we'll be able to have Tay on. She's the real money person out of the organization. We know how this thing really goes. I got married, so I know how money really works.
Give me my point.
So we'll have her on, and maybe we'll get some prizes this week. I think I want to give somebody the book. I think I want to give somebody this week Tony's book. I think somebody needs the book, maybe even the book and workbook combo. So we'll see. We'll see, because we want to start giving out some prizes and stuff. And we don't just want to give out prizes, but I think we want to give out prizes that really help people. Yeah, even if it's just helping them have a good time. So different things like tickets,
speaking of, that's
books,
funny
and other things like that. What's that?
It's so funny you mention that. Because there's a few giveaways coming up that are going to come exclusively from us. For example, free tickets or like a pair of tickets for that Mother's Day concert that's coming up. We're having Don Lawrence is coming from us. We
working on some stuff, y'all. We working on real stuff, y'all. Like, I want y'all to, I need y'all to know something about these two gentlemen that's on the phone right here. Because Tony asked the question: do you have 4 people you can put in a room, sit around for 8 hours, and say we're not leaving here till we have multiple $1 million ideas? And you can be comfortable sitting in the room. And two of these gentlemen that's sitting on here, 2 of the people that you put me in one of those room spaces, I have them. So when we get off of here, we usually texting and calling each other. How did today's show go? One person is looking at how many views we got. One person is we telling y'all how the sausage is made. If you want to know how we getting advertisers and stuff like that, and this is the 5th show we've done. Yeah. And we only got a few viewers and stuff like that because we go and we come with a plan. And we say, let's do it. What can we give away that makes sense? What conversations can we have that really will help people? Because at the end of the day, when I started it, I said I didn't want to just be on here just for the sake of being on, but I want to leave people with something for real. And these 2 gentlemen have taken that and run. Y'all have taken it and run. And like, man.
I was thinking the same thing. That the way this is coming together is just crazy. And like, we started out, Zeke, we were talking earlier, Rich, we brought up the whole Aja Wall situation earlier. So people expect to see her on here too, because I've been texting. We've got some stuff going. Look, when we say we're going to have like Zeke's cousin, we're going to have business influential pastors, actors, singers. And we're not talking about, man, I can't say it all, but when I tell you it's the people you listen to, this thing is about to be crazy. So please share it every day, because our replays are crazy. We're getting thousands of replays a day. And this is week 2.
This is show number. This is technically the first full week. We started Wednesday. We did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to kind of get our bearings and kind of figure some stuff out. Went back over the weekend, rehashed a few stuff. That's why we came back with banners and graphics. And hopefully, I'll have a theme song or intro next week or something like that we can play. I mean, we working on advertisers. We working on guests. I mean, we working.
You gotta get Rich Holmes on the flyers. You gotta put a Rich picture on something.
My picture? Y'all want to see my face?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know because we need to do either a photo shoot or a thing. We'll figure all those pieces out. Like
what happened. Artists with music.
Yeah. Oh, we did say we were gonna bring that up. We've been saying that we was gonna bring that up this Friday, and we.
How about we have an email address?
And I keep forgetting.
Yeah. We can give out an email address.
I think we said that Rich was gonna handle that part, right? I think that's what we said.
I got it.
We said HSH management was gonna handle that. Technically, HSH.
We got to put that up so people know.
Yeah. So if you have any music, as you saw today, we had a featured song today. Jamaica Lachey, she was our featured guest on last week on Friday or Thursday or one of them days. She was our featured guest. We had her on, and we had a chance to listen to some of her music. And so today's featured song was I Don't Want It by Jamaica Lachey. We played that, and that song got me hype. I thought it was good for the stuff that we were talking about today, too. You know, it was a good song for that. But we know that we have other people who have music. And so, and I'm going to put this right out there, like, this is not a gospel show per se. This ain't that. So I'm not just looking for gospel songs. I don't care what you've written about. If it's a song and you want the world to hear it, and as long as the people don't start logging off when we play it, like, because it's whack. If I start seeing a decline in the numbers, I might have to put my face back on and try to hype the people up for you. But this is a no judgment zone. We want you to be able to share your stuff. So make sure that you email Rich. Can you put your email to be able to submit music? And if you are a business and you would love to advertise with us or have that, we got, I think we're working on a real good format for that right now. So it's open, but it's not all the way open. I'm being selective with who we allow to advertise and all that stuff like that. So just at least for right now, while we're talking about structures and infrastructures, we're still building that stuff out. So I don't want somebody to spend their money with us that I don't think that, it is going to, be right. So I knew that I could mess up on the thing a little bit of Mr. Melodies, and the reason I knew that is not just because me and Rich are friends, but because I've actually experienced that business. So I knew I could read it and then get on here and actually tell y'all for real what I thought, which is that's a fun thing. It's just fun. Mr. Melody is just fun. It's just a fun situation. So you need to go. So I didn't mind taking their money. Praise the Lord.
Lord, see how they do you.
Because I really did experience it. Like that's the other thing, if I never actually experienced your stuff, then you definitely got to pay me to say what it is. Like, but if I've actually experienced it, then I'm gonna have some fun with it because it's actually a good thing. I actually do use it or I've enjoyed it, and I can vouch for go do that. And I can vouch for Mr. Melodies. So I thought it was appropriate to let them be the first sponsor that we have for the week. But we'll have a weekly sponsor, maybe a daily sponsor, because contrary to popular belief, y'all, and anybody who actually does this, I see Rhonda on the rocks in the comments. She actually does this, and I'm telling y'all right now, it ain't free, bruh. Like, StreamYard hit me for that first $35, and I said, my goodness, because $35 a month is one thing, but next week I gotta pay $35 a week, and that's not even the biggest plan they got.
Yeah,
$35 a week. So we want sponsors, bro, and that's what we were talking about today. Business models that do that. So yeah. So I don't know. We had today was a good pod. It's not a podcast. This is a live cast. Today was a good live cast. This was good. I just yeah. What you think, Doc?
I thought, again, it was great for all my business owners that's out there, those seeking to even start a business or just seeking to get more information. This is something you want to look at again and gravitate toward and really dissect it, take it in. Don't just listen to it. It's like another sermon or something, that's people go to church. It was just another sermon. No. Take this because this can apply. And if you apply it to your life, you'll see results that you're looking for sure. This was so practical. What you think, E?
Oh, definitely. You know, this is today was great. His information, I'm taking notes on it, all of that. And it's only going to get better. You know, we're still working out kinks over here and figuring out how to get Instagram and over here. And that's something you're going to, you know, maybe it's the way that administratively we all can do something and have stuff going. Somebody can do the Instagram, have the Instagram up. It's got to be a way to figure this out.
Yeah, it's a way to figure it out. And I think it's going to take like another person, like a production person and all that. But like we said, you know, we're going to spend the first 5 to 6 weeks just figuring stuff, learning stuff as we go so that we can really take that and, you know, make it into like a real thing. Like I really honestly think that with the caliber of people that we know between us and the caliber of wealth of knowledge that we have between us and just the different things that we bring to the table, I think we will be helping people because this helps me. Like y'all.
I got some good news, man. I'm gonna let you keep going, but I got some good news.
Man, go ahead and give us the good news. We just talking now.
We've been talking. We just got sponsored for another week for the show. They just said, hey, they want to be the sponsor for next week. Come on, somebody. Don't tell me. Y'all may not understand now, but just that week, just that quick. We just put this out here and said, let's start doing sponsorships and different things like that. We got 2 people that want to sponsor for next week's show and the following week's show. Come on.
And think about this too. Everybody, please pay attention to what Rich just said. Again, we see the numbers, but I mean, you're looking at over 1,000 something people every time we're live and the replays hearing about your business.
Wow.
You know, so it's beneficial, and wait till it grows. And when people start seeing the flyers and saying, you know, or this person's gonna be on the show, you know, more people will tune in. You want to be that sponsor of that show.
Yeah.
If we go live and say, Ty Tribbett join us next week, you want to be the sponsor of that Ty Tribbett clip.
Yeah, because you don't know who's going to be on what week. That's for sure. Because we don't even know all the way who's going to be on. And that's why, you know, real talk, that's why I appreciate everybody who does contribute to the comments and stuff, all of our really, really faithful listeners, because y'all help to keep the conversation going. This is a live cast. And so we did have this conversation, you know, I can go the preacher style, which is go ahead and type in the chats and do such and such, this, that, and other. And that's not really the way that I wanted to go with it. I wanted it to be y'all's. I didn't want to tell y'all what to think. I wanted y'all to just respond organically to how you were thinking and create your own conversations inside the chat. That's why I try to put it up on the screen. That's why I hate that the Instagram stuff doesn't work out well, because we got some people on YouTube, some people on Facebook, some people on Instagram. Like, it just is what it is. But those conversations that spark up, man, that's what drives the conversation. And so a lot of the conversation we had even today, great nuggets that came out of questions that came out of you. So thank y'all for contributing, because we are definitely trying to just get people with their day started off correctly. Maybe somebody today, Doc, I don't know, y'all, man. Maybe somebody was on their way to punch the clock today, and now they're going to change the way they view that job. They're going to look at that job and say, I don't want to punch this clock no more. Yeah. And now they know that it's not about waiting on the Lord to drop a golden nugget out of heaven, checks in the mail, but just come up with a plan. Do you have anybody you can sit down and use the technology that's there? My cousin just texted me and said he had a good time today, by the way. Like, he enjoys doing this kind of stuff. And I'm telling y'all right now, as a life coach, as that being on this thing, the wealth of knowledge he was dropping today, people pay thousands to hear.
I know.
And that's not, if you ever owned a business and you've ever had to hire a consulting firm or anything else like that, you know what that looks like. People that just come give you expertise for free. It costs, and it costs big.
Yes. To sit at the room and just listen to them talk.
Just to beat it. For real.
That was huge what we got today. That's why we pushing. Go back and watch it, guys.
Yeah.
Pay thousands of dollars for what he talked about today. And I'm a witness, because I was one of the ones that paid it. So I'm telling you. Go and listen to what he said. Seriously.
I'm telling y'all, that's why I say I don't know if I'm, you know, Sony will call me a creative genius. He's the first person that ever called me that. You know? But I don't know if I'm genius or if I just had good access to people who I think are genius like him. Like,
right.
You know,
I love when he said that, man, you have the ability to produce the wealth, to produce the money, instead of waiting on the model of God to just drop the money down to you and drop this down. No, you got to go out here and produce it. You are a creator yourself, likeness of the Father. He's a creator. He's the creator. So yeah, man, I really enjoyed that. That was good stuff today.
Yeah, it was. This was good. A lot to take. I'm actually gonna go back and replay this one, not so I can study the tape to figure out how to get better. I just need to write down some notes. That's zero exercise, and I know we are at time right now, but I think the thing that I would take, because this changed my thinking, and honestly, because Rich and Eric, y'all both know this one. 2022, we dropped our first song with our label. We did the tour, we went on tour and all that stuff, and I came out of that, and y'all was probably like, nigga, what? Because I was like, this ain't sustainable. Like I was like, this ain't sustainable. I don't care how many different ways we can do this, that, and the other. We don't got an infrastructure and a plan in place to make this thing sustainable. And you know what started that off? In the middle of that tour, I went down to St. Louis. My cousin Jonathan was moving to LA. I wasn't able to drive out to LA with them, but we went down together to my cousin's house in St. Louis. We drove down there, and in the middle of the night, I'm talking, this must have been like 3 a.m, me and him just up, just talking, going back and forth. He says, take out a sheet of paper. Now, he was making this up on me. So now he's used this exercise that he says all the time now. But he was like, just write down a number between 1 and 9. Just choose one number. I forget what number I choose. Let's just call it 5. Okay, cool. You wrote a 5. Add a 0 to that. He said, do you have that 5? Cool. Add a 0 to that. Do you have that? Okay, cool. Add another 0. Now at that time, I'm stretching dollars because we on the road, and y'all might not know this, but y'all know this, but the audience might not know this. Part of the way I funded that tour was during the week. I was door dashing all through the day and the night to help fund that. The label didn't give me enough to really cover the cost of that. I mean, they gave us about half of what it actually took the tour. The rest of that came from DoorDash and picking up odd gigs and odd little random things like that just to buy the flight ticket. So it'd be day before we buy the flight and a hotel to that last one. We found I was like, bro, I'm out of money. I am tapped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what made me say it's not sustainable. So at that time, when he says, write a number, let's say I wrote down 5. Well, add a second 0 to that. I ain't got it. Okay, add a third 0. So how you gonna be a millionaire? You can't even manage 5,000. You can't even manage 3 zeros behind a 5. Like, what's your plan to get to that? What's your plan to get to the 50,000? Okay, then if it's gonna become 500,000 or 5 million, what's your plan to get to that? Is it impossible? Does it need a miracle? A miracle means it's impossible. It's not impossible because people make $5 million all the time. So what do? They had a plan. It didn't just drop out of heaven. And that changed my whole thinking. And then I disappeared from social media and all that because, I had to go figure out a plan and figure something out. And this is just part of the plan. This right here was one of them plans. Some people, yeah. So shout out.
What we got coming up tomorrow? What's on the show? We got
tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow, because we are over time. Thank y'all so much for being with us. But tomorrow we have Rhonda on the rocks. I'm gonna put her up there. Y'all see that right there? I don't know if y'all can type on that and follow her, but I want you to go follow her now. Because when I tell y'all, there are some people, and Rich, you know this, Eric, you gonna meet her tomorrow. You'll love her once you meet her. I'm telling you, there's some people who are just they're smart, funny, witty, and real all at the same time. Like, and from the moment we've met Rhonda, she's always been that person. Like, so we've known her from our college days, and now she's doing her thing with her podcast, and her podcast is killing the game right now. It's doing amazing stuff, and we want to make sure that gets pushed. So we want to talk a little bit about her podcast and just her, and just, we'll talk about, I don't know, maybe we'll dive into some stuff about, love and dating and marriage and all that kind of stuff, because that stuff always gets saucy and juicy.
Soft girl era.
Yeah. Ooh, the soft girl era. Yeah, maybe we'll just see where the conversation organically goes with the comments and all that stuff as well. So make sure you tune in tomorrow because it's gonna be an amazing time. I tell you what, we do got to get out of here. Eric, do you got any last words for the people? We
see you tomorrow.
He said, "Bye, niggas."
Get out of here.
And thank you guys for tuning in every day, for real, and share this. Even when we go off, share it. So and then the hearts. And when you guys put hearts, it puts us in the algorithm too. So just put hearts on everything and share it, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rich Holmes, you got anything for the people on today?
Eric is the connector, I tell you, boy. He just know exactly what to say, when to do it, and when it's time to get done. That's
don't he though?
He do. God is blessing plans. I've been saying that for a minute. I really do believe that if you can plan it, you can achieve it. Like I always say, life is choice driven. You will live or die by the choices you choose to make. I got a hint for you. Choose life. You'll win every time. I'll talk to y'all. Peace.
Rich, can you do this? I'm sorry. Before you go, just say, I always like to say a quick word of benediction over the people. And since you're the only qualified preacher on this one, can you?
Get out of here. God, thank you for this time of coming together, man. I tell you, with the people, everybody that was in the chat, everybody that will view it, Lord God, we speak a special blessing to them, Lord God. And Lord, we thank you for Zeke's cousin coming on here, Brother Thompson. Man, he was amazing. Thank you for all the words that he shared with us. Thank you for his practicability, his relatability. I pray that something was said, Lord God, that can produce a biblical harvest, Lord God, that can produce in their life. We thank you, Lord God, for the money mindset. We thank you for renewing our mind, and we thank you for showing us the way we are to go. In Jesus' name we pray. Protect us all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rich Holmes. Thank you, E. As always a pleasure to blast to be on with y'all. I want to say thank y'all so much. This is, as every morning, Zeke Live in the Morning. As you can see, we are on 7:30 to 10 o'clock every morning, and this is something that we're starting. I do want to throw this out there. If you get on just a little bit early, get on about 10 minutes early, start looking about 7 minutes early, and you'll see some pre-show. So we're going to start playing like some videos. Right now I've been playing tracks, some stuff that I've made. But again, if we got people who want their songs to play, go ahead, shoot me your music videos and stuff like that. We'll play that in the pre-show because people be liking to listen to music when they're getting dressed and stuff. And that's why the YouTube experience is the best way to view this. So go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. That is youtube.com/Zeke Lock. You can check us out on the Facebook page. That's Zeke Lock. Or you can check me out if you're my profile. You're my friend. You're my profile. That's Lock Zeke. Just the opposite. And then on Instagram, we so sorry we ain't figured out a good way for the comments yet on Instagram, but we are still going to keep going live. That's Zeke Lock NUX, as in Zeke Lock in the new experience. So to take us out of here, I'm gonna play one more Jamaica Lachey song just so that y'all can hear another one, and then we out of here, and we will see y'all tomorrow with our special guest Rhonda on the rocks. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and we are absolutely over time. So yeah, there's that. I love y'all. Peace out.
I'ma need you to say less, pray more. 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 And that's a mark to the promise. And that's a mark to the promise. Stuck in the lines, they tell when you cry, complaining and waving all the wires eyes. Silver and gold have I not, but I serve you this knowledge is straight out the pot. Yeah, you should be thankful for what he's done. Praising his name, you already won. Second to no man, get with the program. God is the source for your overcome. Yeah, my Lord is the source for your overcome. Yeah. silence was a weapon. Still holding on, but I'm praying more. God is no fable, he raised the score. Circle, smaller lessons learned. Source is the way I further this journey. Please give me your attention, they just listen, he's the truth. The only one who knows and recognizes the real you. So if you feel me, if you with me, if this resonate with you, stop the playing, no more gaming, add some work and see you through the promise. Sing, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Sing, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I'ma need you to say less.